for a few weeks now, it's been like, oh man, there wasn't a million announcements. There wasn't a big thing. There wasn't a big conference. But guess what? They're back. They're back, man.
With a vengeance.
Yep, they were off for a few weeks. Now I got a whole bar full of tabs open.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys.
Woo! And the first one is just like a big old conference. So welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast here at RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
Actually, you know what, Michael? You know what? Before we even get into anything, I will say I wanted to ask the fine folks of RageSelect. So I'm relatively certain that the YouTube algorithm fucking hates RageSelect. Obviously, I look at the number of subscribers that we have, and it's not like the subscriber count has gone down, but the view counts are way down and shit, right?
No.
Like, I don't know if people have more interest in this style of podcast, or whether they would like me to start like reining it back in and maybe do like more questions like we used to, where it's like, you know, first half, whatever we can fit in the first half is like the news.
Oh, okay.
And then we get to the end of that, it's over. Then the news is over. And the second hour is just like answering questions, shooting the shit, less news bomb. Because you know what? Like, in all honesty, the main thing, you know, one of the weird things about RageSelect is that I made RageSelect because there wasn't a thing, or when I made RageSelect, one of my ideas in my head was like, I want a show like this, and I'm not seeing it anywhere else. And I still don't know that I have, like, I can find like a podcast that literally goes over all the news, like in granular detail every week. The only problem is that it's like, well, there wasn't a podcast like that. I'd really like to have a podcast like that, but now I have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Now you have to be the podcast.
I want to listen to it. It
Be
takes
the
forever.
podcast you want to listen to, but not really because you hate listening to yourself.
Yes. Well, plus I already know what I said. I don't need to listen to it after we recorded it.
Well, all you gotta do is wait a week. You'll forget everything you said.
Sure.
And then listen to it. You'll be like, I made an interesting point that time.
Yeah. I you know, sometimes I have gone back and listened to the RageSelect. I've listened to my own podcast, but it's usually when somebody gets really mad about some take that I have on some movie, and then I go back and listen to it. And I'm like, I didn't even really make that take, my dude.
People misread takes very quickly.
Anyway, speaking of bad takes, I got one. It's hot. It's coming in. Open up your arms. Here comes that potato.
Go for it.
I watched The Gray Man last week.
Oh, that's right.
I did. I thought it was fine. I thought it was great. Like,
was he a British gray man or an American gray man?
What?
Because you spell gray differently depending on the spelling.
Which one is the A?
That's the American one?
It's American.
If I remember
it's
correctly?
American Gray Man. I thought it was fine. Like, the thing is that I went and looked at, like, it's got this weird, like, mid-ranking. Like, I would give it like a good 7 out of 10, right? Like, it's not as good as like. I was looking at the Metacritic reviews, and I saw literal critics that were just like, this is no John Wick. And I'm like,
what?
John Wick is like the best action movie that's ever been made. If you put everything up against John Wick, you're going to be disappointed every fucking time.
Well, it's that old joke where it's like, person who's only watched John Wick says, I get a lot of John Wick vibes from this.
Right. You know what it kind of reminded me of is, it kind of reminded me in its utter stupidity, not quite as stupid, but getting to the levels of like Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
You know, it's just it's just an action movie. You know, they're like I saw a lot of reviewers. I feel like I was getting a lot of like Pacific Rim vibes, specifically because I saw reviewers that were just like, they don't even go into the personal lives of any of these characters. There's just these flat 2D cutouts, and all they do is jump around and blow stuff up. And I'm like, hello, I'm just fine with that. Like, that's cool for me, bro.
That works just fine for that movie.
You know, Chris Evans has a porno stash, and that's his character.
Yeah.
He is the porno stash.
He's a porno stash, looks kind of like a cop as well with that stash.
Yep.
That's his character.
But, you know, but it also has like a hell of a cast. Like, Billy Bob Thornton is in there.
Really?
Anna de Armas, who was Marta in Knives Out. She was in the last Bond movie. I tell you what, I like this more than the last Bond movie because it was a solid 2 hours and they kept blowing shit up as opposed to having a morose, introspective British super spy who doesn't want to get old and oh my daughter and oh my love and
I never saw the new one.
I don't care enough about Bond to get involved with his inner life. Also, that movie was like 2 hours and 45 minutes long or something.
To come out.
It was so long. Anyway, you know, again, like I say this all the time. I feel like you remember the old you remember Spill's old rating system, right?
Yeah.
With the matinees and the rentals and stuff.
Well, Corey still uses it.
Okay, so I don't think that's really relevant, I have my own rating system.
Yeah.
So my own rating system is this. Like,
Is it Dark Souls, Metal Gear?
no. Don't make me choose between my babies. No, it's more just like if you have Netflix and you've 2 hours to kill. Yes. Like, should you get Netflix to watch this? No. But do you already have Netflix? Then watch it. It's fine. It's just like, it's a bunch of shit blowing up, exotic locales. The plot is stupid as fuck. It's fine. There's a lot of, there's not as many quippy one-liners as I thought, but there's a lot of good action sequences and, you know.
Well, it's done by the Russos.
Yeah.
Who made the Captain Americas.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Like, it's just fine. I don't know.
Well, it sounds, from what I hear, it's a lot better than the last film they made.
What was the last one they made?
Marvel related. It was that Tom Holland one where he's got like that, I want to say a Southern accent. I can't remember. It was a movie that everyone hated.
Cherry?
Yeah, Cherry.
Oh, they did direct Extraction, but they wrote and produced it. Extraction was a weird movie.
Yeah, that's what I
Thor
remember
punches a
hearing about
kid
it.
in the face in that movie.
Does he really?
I don't know, there's like these street kids that are razzing him, and he just fucking beats one of them up, and it's like, oh, what am I watching? Like Chris Hemsworth beat up like an Indian teenager. I'm like, what the fuck?
I kind of like when people beat up kids in a comedic sense.
Yeah,
like when Mac and Charlie beat the shit out of those kids. Or the Silicon Valley when what's his name slaps the shit out of that kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
TJ Miller. I just remember his name.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's quite as bad as like these kind of, because it's kind of like a 50, right? Like it's kind of this like
it'd be like
middle of the
mid-range,
road.
yeah.
But I think it's
That's
a little
what I've heard
better than
about
that.
it, yeah.
I don't know. That's some good stunts, some good blowing stuff up, and
That's not a bad thing for a streaming movie.
it's also got the lady that played Colleen Wing in like Iron Fist and all that stuff. She's in there.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's great.
There's somebody else from Bridgerton. It might be her. I don't know. I've never watched Bridgerton.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
So, but then I'll tell you what. Like, here's the last thing I'll say about this, and then we can fucking get the fuck away from here. Is what other options do you have right now for an action movie that is not superhero? That's just like super spy, machine gun guys, globetrotting, blowing stuff up. Like outside, like there's not a Fast and Furious right now. Bond is done. Everything else right now is kind of superheroes.
Well, when does the new Mission Impossible come out?
That's a good question.
That's the only other thing I can think of that's supposed to come out. Because Top Gun, I don't think I would count because it's a jet movie.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Again, you know, you don't have to go to the theater. You've already paid. It's on the service.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking. You know what? I'm gonna say, just load it up, watch it for 15 minutes. If you get bored, turn it off and go watch something else. Like, go look up boobs on the internet or something. I don't know.
Or watch Captain America: Winter Soldier again, because that was made by the same people.
You can watch Uncharted.
No, don't watch Uncharted.
Watch Morbius.
That movie's pointless.
Moonfall.
Oh my god, yeah, Moonfall.
Yeah, I mean a lot of these.
Oh, Ambulance.
Oh yeah, that's the Michael Bay one,
That's
right?
the Michael Bay one. Yeah, that's the only other one that's not superhero.
Go to the
related.
theater to watch Bullet Train.
Oh yeah, actually, I might watch that later. Who knows? I like Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I guess there's some stuff, but I don't know. It was fine.
Well, nothing like super like extravagant. I feel.
Yeah,
This is the main thing.
yeah. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was fine. If I had to go to a theater to watch it, I would have been a little mad, but I never would have gone to a theater to watch that movie. So
No, I get that. Yeah.
how about you, Michael? What have you been up to?
Well,
last week?
I watched League of Super Pets
Okay.
over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but it was made by the people who did Lego Batman, the Lego Batman movie.
I quite enjoyed Lego Batman.
Which I didn't know that going into it. I found that out when I did the review for One of Us, which you can find on oneofus.net.
Yeah.
Where I go into way more detail about it, as well as just random jokes. But I thought it was a really solid movie. Like, its animation isn't like the best, but like the writing I thought is pretty solid after a certain point. And then it's got some decent action in it. And Kevin Hart plays more of the straight man of the two dogs, which is
he play the
also
Bat Dog?
fascinating. Yeah, he's Ace the Bat Hound.
Okay.
Although he's not a Bat Hound yet, I guess, at that point. And yeah, Crypto's more of the weirdo of the two of them.
Who plays Crypto?
The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson?
Dwayne Johnson is Crypto the super dog.
Okay.
Also, it's got Natasha Lyonne as a tortoise that is just horny all the time.
Okay.
Kind of thing. There's actual cursing in that movie.
What?
But they like bleep it.
Okay.
Like at one point, like she there's a point where they're like I need you to attack this person, and she runs, and she ends up in the middle of nowhere and just eats this flower. And then she looks around and she just goes, "Where the fuck am I?" But it bleeps like her saying, "Where the fuck."
Like it bleeps the curse word, like outside, like undiegetically, like outside of the movie score. It's just like boop.
Yeah,
like,
it's like a big, it's like a bleep, and she does it like 3 times in the movie.
What?
And you're like, what the fuck?
This is a movie for babies.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why it ends up working, because it just completely catches you the fuck off guard.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's a fun time, and even the Justice League in it was a lot of fun. Keanu Reeves plays Batman in it.
Okay.
And he's got some really fun, just quick jokes, because whenever they cut to them, they're like captured. But there's a point where they're talking about animals or something, and pets, and in the middle of it, he just goes, "I miss my parents."
Oh my
it just
God.
cracked me the fuck up.
Okay, so this isn't a movie for babies. This is a movie
it's a little
for
bit of both.
for dorks.
It's 100% for both, because there's still a lot of kid jokes in it.
Okay.
But there's just as many just like quick ones. Like at one point, the bad guy's a guinea pig that was owned by Lex Luthor. That was an actual like guinea pig he was testing on, but the guinea pig doesn't realize that, and so the guinea pig enlists a bunch of other guinea pigs in a classroom.
Okay.
And they're just like, well, we learn Spanish every week, so I want to just stay here and learn more Spanish.
All right.
And it's just like, there's just like weird jokes like that, and I actually highly recommend like giving it a shot whenever it comes to video.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, because I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hopefully they won't cancel. No, wait. I guess it's already out. They can't cancel.
They can't cancel that
They
one.
can't cancel that one.
A lot of stuff's going on in HBO, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of insane shit.
Yeah. To get some bullshit.
Oh, I've also been playing a lot of Multiverses.
Oh yeah,
just a fuck ton of Multiverses.
There you go. I by the time this comes out, people have seen the Cowboy episode of Live Alive.
Yeah.
I finished that story, and it was like 90 minutes total. Like it would have been a part 2
of the Cowboy one.
We would have totally finished the Cowboy story.
Oh wow.
So I'm really vibing with Live Alive. I also went back and looked at what it looked like on the Super Nintendo, and I was like, garbage.
I thought it was a PS1 game
or PS1 or whatever. I thought it was Famicom, but
I don't remember. It came out in '94.
Live Alive. Let's see what it did. Switch Super Nintendo.
Oh, it was a Super Famicom game.
Yeah,
that's fascinating.
Yeah,
no wonder it didn't come out here.
It's somebody in the Discord was like, should I buy that or should I just go play the original one? And I was like, actually, I mean, at this point, like they put a lot of work in it. Here, let me see if I can pull this up.
They put a ton of work in that thing,
because it was very. Oh yeah, here we go. That's like music from it. It looks very, 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 very like a lot like lower tech than it did before. Like it's still fine.
It's just Final Fantasy like 2 and 4.
Yeah, so here's like the cowboy. We can even see like the sprites are like 3 times as big as they were. Like they've got a lot more detail in them. Like the sprites here look like your Final Fantasy Overworld sprites.
Yeah, which makes sense back then. That's what they were.
Yeah, but you know all that 3D, 2D stuff, and like it's got all this voice acting to it, and it's got like the little light sourcing stuff that happens is all really interesting. So yeah, I think it's good.
When it cuts to him on the horse, that's really funny.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Live Alive, pretty good. Anyway, but not as good. Well, actually, that's not true. Let's stop talking about old JRPGs and start talking about new JRPGs.
Oh, okay.
Because we got a whole Pokemon Presents, and you can set your stopwatch by how fast Michael and I are going to tear through this thing, because
let me use a quick attack on it.
It is 20 minutes long, and it's mostly some bullshit that I don't care about.
It's fair. I don't care about as much as about Pokemon anymore nowadays either.
Yeah. In fact,
all those Pikachu plushes.
Let's just go through. They're having their Pokemon Championships in London again. Who gives a fuck? They got the Pikachu statue, the World Champion Pikachu statue. Then they talk about how they're having Pokemon Go events. I don't I don't care.
Do you love catching COVID and Pokemon? Go outside.
I mean, I don't. I never was into Pokemon Go.
I love the idea, but then they're like, but then you have to go outside. It's like, well, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. Do you guys know? Do you guys know what the temperature is here in this state that we live in?
You have the hottest July ever, apparently.
Yep. And then they went on to the Pokemon Arena Battle MOBA game.
I forgot about that game. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, they're having their first championships. It came out last year. It's like their 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, we played it, remember?
Yeah. I fucking
had a decent time.
I whooped ass with Snorlax.
You did.
Never
yeah.
gonna play it again. There's like a new event called Pika Party where everything on the map is Pikachu. The enemies, the players.
Okay.
Everything is a Pikachu. That's fine. There's some new
Buzzwole?
Buzzwole.
That's
Buzzwole
really his
is
name.
in
Oh,
there.
shit.
Yep. It's a giant. It's a fucking mosquito stapled on top of the rock.
It's what Bane would use as a Pokemon.
Yep. So yeah, there's some new Pokemon. There's some new costumes. As I understand it, I mean, like even when this first came out, like the amount of money that you had to spend for like the various costumes was kind of gross, and then you could buy them with points or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So,
but if you've been playing for a year, it's probably not much of an issue.
Yeah. I was confused about this until I realized that there's some kind of Pokemon phone game, Pokemon Masters EX.
Oh.
Has a new trainers, and then a little thing where they had Ash catch him at the top of a mountain.
No, that's red. There's a difference.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, one of those Pokefucks.
He's just the original Pokemaster.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who would be upset if I didn't say that.
Okay.
I mean that.
The Pokemon Cafe remix is getting Mewtwo.
Oh, that's fun. Does he try to enslave everyone?
Apparently, if you feed him really good, then he'll come work at your fucking Pokemon Cafe. To the point where, as part of this 20-minute thing, they literally go through the steps that you need to take in order to get Mewtwo on your team.
That's a little strange,
it's
but sure.
very weird. It's like, yeah, get these Pokemon and then level them up and then like keep mixing and then you get the new Pokemon. I
can imagine being at a Pokemon cafe where Mewtwo's working and he's just telling you his depressing ass backstory. My friends were these Pokemons that were clones of Squirtle and Charizard, and they all fucking died.
I just
like, cool, bro. I just wanted my coffee.
I kind of wanted to play that game, but it's only on touch. Like you only play it with the touch screen. You can't play it with the controller or anything.
Yep.
So you could take that Pokemon and get the fuck out.
Like, you can tell it was supposed to be like a 3DS game.
Yeah. And then finally, we got some Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which was like kind of the back half of the thing. I will say I'm very upset that there are no updates to my favorite Pokemon game. There's not a single goddamn even mention. They didn't even give lip service to that Pikachu brush your teeth game that they put out for babies in Japan.
I forgot about that.
It's my favorite Pokemon game, and I wanted more brush your teeth Pikachu.
I actually thought that sounded like a lot of fun, to be honest.
I want Pikachu to be happy that I'm brushing my teeth.
That would make me do it.
How much have you seen about Pokemon Scarlet, Violet?
Not a lot, to be honest. It's because I don't pay attention to Pokemon the way I used to.
Sure,
that's more my my nibblings things nowadays.
It seems like it's like Arceus or Arceus or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it's like open world and kind of like open. I don't know. I haven't seen everything yet. It is kind of weird because the ultimate Pokemon that they showed, like the two really big ones, there's like a red one and a purple one. Okay, so the big thing, there's a few things. Everything is tinged with like a Latin flavor, like it's like in Spanish, like it's Spain.
Oh, okay.
And then the two versions are like the past and the future. So there's two main trainers, and the lady trainer, the lady scientist, right? She's got like a lab coat, but then she's wearing like a cave woman outfit of like furs and stuff underneath. And then the guy is wearing like the cyber suit. And then the two master Pokemon are like, one's this kind of the red one is like this kind of barbarous beast, and then the other one is like a weird technological Pokemon.
Is it a motorcycle?
And they turn into, and then you ride them around. Okay, now here's the weird part, Michael. You see how the red guy has motorcycle wheels?
Yeah.
But he's running on his feet. The purple one drives like a motorcycle. It uses the wheels. The red one has the wheels, but doesn't use them.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't understand what's going on.
They also fly. They also go in the water. They're like your horse, basically. It's a big open world. And then I think the other big thing that they showed off for this one was that there's these new crystal Pokemon. Trainers, blah, 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 blah. There's this new crystal things where, like, in this region, you can hit your Pokemon with these crystal Pokeballs that turn them into like crystal versions of the Pokemon that are like super powered up. And then you can get like versions of the standard Pokemon that also can be powered up.
Huh.
And then they can be powered up in different ways. You can get like an Eevee that normally powers up to a ground type or whatever, but this one will be a grass type or like a different type. And then they have these different really weird...
Sure, I guess.
They have these different big crystal hats. Where the fuck is the part of this? Oh, yeah, there's the trainers. So you got the past and the future.
Oh, Reed Richards and fucking...
Shanana or whatever from with Kazar's girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. I was wondering what they were a part of, because I kept seeing that guy, and I was like, that's just Reed Richards, like pretty much straight up.
It's very kind of striking. It's a lot more striking than the last one, than Sword and Shield, that were very just like kind of generic. Like, it's got a lot of like weird style to it. There's going to be a lot of like funky characters. I guess Sword and Shield were fine, but
Sword and Shield was definitely that mid ground between 3DS and this, basically. Like, it was obvious it was the first time they're like, hey, you can make a game on an actual like platform, and they're like, I'm sorry, what? We've never done that before. We don't know what to do with that.
They showed off this new Pokemon called Fido, and dough is spelled like DOUGH because it's like a dog made out of dough. It's like a dough dog.
Oh, jeez.
That's very weird. It's very strange.
Amanda posted about that one, actually.
Are you supposed to eat that dog? So let's see. You can play multiplayer with your buddies. The four of you can all go out in the world, and some of you will ride a motorcycle, and some of you will gallop around.
I don't understand why you would give it wheels if it doesn't do wheels. I'm sorry.
It's
That's
too
just
stupid.
Fucking weird.
No, it's too stupid.
Because evolutionally wise, it should have them because they're wheels.
Right.
Why would they? It doesn't make any sense.
There's a dog made out of dough, okay? Let's not get too hung up on Pokemon.
Yeah, but the dome dog, at least it's just a dog. It doesn't have wheels that do nothing.
I don't know.
Maybe you can bake it and it becomes like a croissant Pokemon.
Bread dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could terrestrialize your Pokemon. That's the crystal thing. They look pretty cool when they're all crystallized. Like,
yeah, it looks like you could buy them at a gift shop somewhere.
Yeah, like it would totally break apart. Like if you set it down too much.
Exactly.
You broke the chandelier off the top of my Psyduck. Ah,
I gotta glue it on. It's gonna take forever.
Also, the demonstration has them using this crystal power and then like attacking like level 4 Pokemon and just annihilating them in one shot.
Gotta show them how cool you are.
So yeah, this seems like they have another thing in here where they talk about, because I don't know, did you get a chance to watch this?
I watched some of it. I didn't finish it.
There's kind of a part here where they talk about how, like, to get some of these new crystal Pokemon, they'll be like raid bosses where you have to get like 4 people together to fight these raid bosses, these very difficult raid bosses, simultaneously in order to get these very special.
And it changes what type they are based on the hat they have.
Yes, yeah. What's coming off the top of their head indicates what type they are. So there's like a weird fiery chandelier for fire type and like plants for grass types. It all looks pretty good.
Still look dumb, but yes.
I mean, it's fine. It's all just Pokemon, man. Like,
I guarantee you, people are gonna make these, and you can just buy these like in class form.
Oh, the little crystal Pokemon.
Yeah, I guarantee you, somebody's going to.
I mean, if any Game Freak should make them. Should make some amiibos, crystal amiibos.
Oh, they should, but they might break on their way. I don't know. Yeah. Or they'll be like cheap plastic-looking things that are clear.
Yep. And that was kind of it. That was kind of the. I mean, you saw there was a little bit more to this. I mean, I went over the kind of the highlights, but. It looks like a kind of open world, a much more open world. Like I think.
Oh, okay. So when there are moments where they're standing and the wheels just aren't there.
Well, they kind of go back up into their chests.
Okay.
Yeah, they kind of
so
pop
they don't
out.
always look dumb as shit.
Yes, that's true. Looks like a good Pokemon game. Looks fine. Like I even got lured in by Arceus or Arceus or whatever for a little while.
Yeah.
But I just think at the end of the day, I'm just not into the weird like dogfighting simulator that is Pokemon. It just doesn't do it for me, man.
But you can pet them or whatever. I don't know. I haven't played a game. I haven't played them in a long time. I don't know if that's still a thing.
No, I mean you totally can, but I'm just not really all that into Pokemon. So
remember when that was a thing in Fire Emblem, but it wasn't a thing in America?
What?
You remember that?
We could pet your what?
You could pet your waifus in Fire Emblem, but only in Japan because when they brought it to America, they're like, it's going to be kind of weird if you can just pet women.
That is a little weird.
So they like took it out entirely.
So, yeah,
I forgot which one it was. What was one of the 3DS ones?
And that was Pokemon. See, look at that. Ooh, I think we took like 15 minutes to get through that, maybe less. But that wasn't the only thing, because as Amanda and I were recording last week, like as we were recording, there was this Annapurna Interactive showcase, which
this I did not watch.
Okay, well, it's Annapurna Interactive, so like if you're into artsies and the fartsies, then they've got you covered. There's a few things in here that I think, I don't know, it really just depends on how much you're into weird kind of stuff. So
well, a lot of stuff in this montage I've seen.
Yeah,
but yeah,
the big thing was they showed off Thirsty Suitors, which is this kind of Scott Pilgrim-esque
that game
with the Indian lady who is like coming back to her hometown, and then all her exes are kind of coming at her, and it's kind of a JRPG, and it's also like a skateboarding thing and a stand up to your parents thing and a what do I want to do with my life thing, and it's kind of weird though. I think the animation on it is like kind of weirdly stiff. I don't know if this is on purpose, but
that was the thing that we said when they first announced it. And we were like, oh, maybe they'll fix it as it comes out. But yeah, it's a little only slightly disappointing, but it must be a deliberate choice.
What it feels like to me is that they have these really dynamic poses for characters, but then they're automating the animation between the two poses. They're just making it happen automatically, which, as I understand, this is just a two-person team, but like what you get out of it is this weirdly uncanny, like you saw that part where she did the kick and her head didn't move at all.
Do anything, yeah. Or even this guy's dancing thing looks just kind of weird.
Like his head is just rock solid. Yeah. Like they tend to go from pose to pose, and then when they get to the end of the pose, they just stop. Right, the animation just kind of halts. Yeah. Other than that, though, it looks kind of interesting. It reminds me of
story-wise, it looks like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, kind of Scott Pilgrim. There's a whole kind of like from this little gameplay part where they're showing, it's like they kind of like go back and forth, and then eventually they get sucked into the guy's imagination, his inner world of what he thinks things are like, and then she can't damage him, and the only way to get at him is because he's like a mama's boy, is she calls her mom, who comes in and hits him with the giant flip-flop, like takes off her shoe and hits him with it, and then that makes him like able to be damaged, and it's like, oh, all that seems really fun.
There's fun like weird shit going on in it.
Yeah. My mom never hit me with a shoe, but as I understand it, that's a thing that happens with some moms. So
in certain cultures, it's a thing that happens all the time.
Yeah. And then at the end, like once they've done the whole thing, they like resolve their differences, and so it's gonna be one of those games. Also, it's got skateboarding and pretty good soundtrack, very colorful. I like the art style quite a bit. I just wish it was a little bit more. The animation was a little bit more fluid.
That was the thing we said, when they very first announced it, because we just assumed that it was early on.
Yeah.
But now it seems to be a deliberate choice, and that could go either way is the thing.
There's a new trailer for Hindsight, which is this weird, like, kind of looking through various things to see the past. One woman is cleaning out her mom's house after she's dead and remembering all that stuff. You know the kind of game I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like.
When you used your stand or whatever to try to find out who the boss is or whatever.
Yeah. This game came out the day we're recording this, so it's already out at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if this one's gonna. I used to pick some artsy fartsy stuff for RageSelect, but this one looks like it might be a little too much. Like you're supposed to pay attention and you're not supposed to make dick jokes over this game. So
it could go either way. Oh, and it's only on Switch and Steam.
Yep.
That's an interesting setup.
Yep. Cardboard Computer, they had a segment where they just kind of talked about their next game. These are the guys that make Kentucky Route Zero.
Oh, okay.
And they have them kind of sitting around. There's a lot of like people in well lit kitchens talking about how they founded their studio, whilst every so often you see a very small part of the old game they put out, and then maybe like a screen with part of the new game that they're making on it.
Yeah.
It's shot very well, but like, I want to boycott this. I don't give a shit about the guys that made the game. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sure they're all nice people, but that's not why I came to this. I came to this to find out about the game.
Absolutely
not the guys with the rainbow shoes that made the game. So, also, they're obviously in some converted house because it's just like an oven back there.
Yeah, they're in a kitchen basically.
Yeah,
somebody's like small kitchen.
But it's funny, they do show this one thing where they're talking about how, as a 3-person team, they're going to make a much more complicated game. And they showed this thing where this guy has rigged up a dog, and he's using a phone with a front face capture to like move the dog's head around and make its mouth move as like a puppet, like a mocap. And it's like, that's kind of interesting.
That's kind of cool, actually. Technology, guys.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Nothing really big. From there, we saw Bounty Star, The Morose Tale of Graveyard Clem. This shit rules.
Okay.
It's like this post-apocalypse thing with this lady kind of main character, and she's just all like, it's very Wild West, and she's just like, all I've ever been good at is killing. And then she gets into a mech. And then starts driving around with the mech, blasting on stuff, and I'm like, is this a mech western? Is this a mech stern? Like, oh my god,
it looks like it. Yeah,
it does. There's only one thing that I'm scared of, Michael, and I don't know if you'll be able to figure it out from watching this trailer.
Do you have to build a base or something?
Can you tell what I'm scared? I'm scared it's going to be a tower defense game.
That's what I was. Yeah, because it showed that sequence where it
shows kind of like a base, and then like some of the enemies seem really nondescript, and I'm like, I do like a game with a mech. This looks like Western Titanfall with a lady, the Western, and I like all that. I'm not a big tower defense guy. I hope it's not tower defense.
I hope not either, but it's too early to tell.
Tower defense. It's coming out next year. Let's see. After that, this was, oh boy. From Austin, this yarn owl, Austin and Atlanta. There's these two guys. This guy in Atlanta that talked about his dad gave him Link to the Past, and it was this big thing that was a connection between them. And he went on Twitch after his dad passed away. He decided to start making 3D models. Like, he kind of wanted to make his own game. And then some guy came into his chat. This guy from Austin was a programmer, and he was like, "Hey, do you have a microphone?" And they kind of hooked up and started doing this work on their days off. And then kind of part of the story is the guy flying from Atlanta to Austin to meet with the guy and see. There's not a lot of actual information. It seems like they're making kind of like a 3D Zelda-ish kind of action game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they show like a little bit of what he might be working on.
Yeah, tiny bit. Like, I think that's the main character with the hood that kind of looks like Link's hat, I mean, this is just far too early to make any assessment.
Oh, absolutely. For all we know, these two will hate each other by the time this is done.
Yes.
And they'll never speak to each other again.
Yep.
Who knows?
So, yeah. That's one of the other things, is that some of the stuff is just way too early. Outer Wilds, we had an update for that.
Oh,
wow. They announced Outer Wilds for Switch last time they had one of these last year.
Yeah.
It hasn't come out yet. They were
true.
like, we were probably a little too ambitious. Sorry about that. We're going to have some news real soon about when it's going to be coming out on the Switch. And then August.
They've made it a pixel game.
Wait, what month is this? This is August, right?
Yeah, August just started not that long.
I believe that September 15th, they're putting out a next-gen update for Series X and PS5, 60 frames per second, 4K, like looking all nice and stuff. I never beat Outer Wilds. I always got frustrated at a certain point.
I never did either, but I talked to so many people who just really loved it.
Yeah,
John really liked it a lot.
Maybe the third time's a charm. Now that it looks all super fancy and stuff.
Like 60 FPS, Jeff.
Yep,
you love that such.
I do. So, and it's a free upgrade. I don't know if it's a free upgrade if you've got it on Game Pass, but
that's a fair point. I don't see why not.
There's also some updates for the Pathless is getting an Xbox and Switch release this winter. Pathless is kind of cool. Maquette, which I really like. That was a game a man and I played a long time ago on the PS5.
Because we played that other one.
A Pathless?
Yeah.
Yep, that was pretty fun. Maquette is coming out on Game Pass and Switch in the winter.
Oh.
Maquette is really good, y'all. Solar Ash is coming to Steam December 6th. Did we play Solar Ash?
No.
Play with somebody else.
I don't remember who you played it with.
It's coming to Game Pass. I didn't care for it. That was one from the Hyperlight Drifter guys.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for it all that much.
I remember you telling me that much about it because I know for a fact we didn't play. I didn't play it at least.
Oh, and then What Remains of Edith Finch got a next gen update.
Ooh.
And it came out the day that this aired, so last week at this point by the time you hear this. So I never beat What Remains of Edith Finch, but I liked what I played about it. So let's see. After that we got is it which guys are these? This developer spotlight. These are the guys in Germany that are making, what the fuck are they making? Oh, they're making this old man takes pictures out of an RV and drives across the country game.
Okay.
This is the kind of game that appeals to me whatsoever.
No, it's the artsy game that's like, this is too artsy for me, guys.
Yeah, it's like, this is a game for people that aren't into ninjas that shoot stuff in the face and explode into... Yeah, this is a game for people that look at Metal Gear Rising and they're just like, oh, fuck no, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
This is for the person that really loves watching fucking anything that A24 comes out.
or remember that you didn't play it, Tessa and I played it. There was a game called Post. There was like this lady that quit her job and then moved to the suburbs to
I remember
drive
the trailer for that.
the postal van, and it was like,
I didn't know that came out.
oh yeah a while back. But yeah, this is like this old man, he's driving across the country taking pictures of stuff and getting in adventures, the old man style adventures, like
Yeah.
looking at pictures of stuff, and it's like, it was inspired by the road trip that I took when I went to America, and I took all the pictures, and then I came back and made them into a book, and I gave them to this guy that like who I program with, and it's just like, okay guys, this is a really wholesome story, but like, Jesus, I don't care.
When does the old man fight like the devil or whatever?
Yeah.
Then I'm on board.
This was pretty cool. This game called Flock, that I'd never heard of before. This is a very kind of surreal game where it appears that everything kind of flies around, and it appears to be kind of it reminds me a little bit of Flower in that
I was just about to say that, actually.
your character flies around and then like can kind of pick up the stuff that flies until you have this like this big tail of crazy monsters behind you, all flying behind you. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. Like, they show that it's multiplayer, that you're playing with like 3 or 4 characters. I do like they show these sheep in the trailer, and then the guy comes up on his bird, and then the sheep all just fly up in the air to become the flock. It's kind of cool looking. Like, reminds me a little bit of like Hokum.
I can see
Remember
that.
Hokum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know
So
what the objective is, but it looks like it'd be a fun time,
could be fun.
especially with people.
Just depends. With Annapurna Interactive, you have to be a little careful because you're just like, okay, is something going to happen here, or is this just going to be like a vibe based thing?
Oh, 100%.
Speaking of Hohokum, it's on the PC right now.
Oh, shit.
It came out on the PC. The game that was a like PS3 game,
Yeah.
or PS4 game, I think.
I think it was a PS3 game because I didn't have it. I have a PS3 at the time.
Might have been early PS4, I think. Anyway,
I don't
it's
remember.
funny.
That's the thing.
Allison and I played this. We did 2 dojos of Hohokum.
Oh shit! That's a long time ago.
That far back. Yeah, this game it's delightful, and it's real weird, and it's very like abstract and kind of music and vibe based. Talk about your vibe based games. It's fun. I think I beat it because it's not especially long. It's like you've kind of got these different stages that you go through with these different little like wormy guys, and then you kind of fly around and do stuff. But yeah, this one was like, and it's out today on the Steamage.
Fun, I guess.
Yeah. And then we got a very brief trailer for Uvula, which is just
Uvula.
it's just a little thingy in the back of your throat. and it just shows like a kid, and he's snoring, and his uvula's out, and then like, what is it, like a dog? I think like, yeah. And this is the latest game from Kita Takahashi that did Katamari Damacy and Watam. Now, I think you have to be a little bit careful with this one because there was a whole thing where the studio that made Watam was like a toxic as fuck place to work.
I remember that, yeah.
But that was like, but that wasn't, it was kind of this guy a little bit, but there was a really bad producer. That was one of the big problems there. So I don't know if that producer is still there because that was the thing where they, rather than fix the studio, they dissolved it and then hired a bunch of interns into a new studio.
That whole story. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you go look that shit up. It is not good. It's not good.
No, it's not great at all.
So I saw that. I was like, I don't know. Don't want people getting.
I was hoping you guys forgot.
Don't want people getting abused to make video games.
No.
This was a game called Dream Feel. This is being made in Dublin, and it was really weird. Like the lead person in the studio was like, we didn't want to just show a bunch of screens with like games on it, so we decided everybody's going to come in this conference room, like glue a bunch of shit to the wall and draw on it and be creative, and that way you could see more about our game. And I'm like,
but what did the cat draw?
Yeah, so all the characters are cats, and apparently it's like what everything drown will someday rise from the deep is like, oh, that's our theme of the game. And that did like,
that's ominous.
I don't know, I'm not trying to be a ding dong over here, but like I don't care. Like I want to see the game. Like I want to see the screens with the half finished prototypes on them, as opposed to watch a bunch of ladies paint a bunch of stuff on the walls in their conference room. Like I don't know.
But it's art, Jeff.
Yeah,
it's art.
Yeah, that's just me. And then let's see. And then finally, the last thing that we got was called The Lost Wild.
The Lost Wild Jurassic Park.
Oh, no, it is a dinosaur game. Yeah,
I was joking.
Yeah, no, it is a dinosaur game. I think I said this to Matt. And I was just like, you motherfuckers, you get whatever you want.
No, bitch.
You guys get whatever fucking you want.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I actually think oh no, I didn't cut this last. I don't know. I cut a trailer last week, and it might have been this one. But this is very much just like it appears that you're in like a big jungle full of dinosaurs trying to survive, and you're trying not to get et by them. They're T-Rexes. So
that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, it appears that there's some kind of like you've gone back in time, or I don't know. I don't know what the whole deal is, but it shows some pretty nice looking monsters.
Well, it looks like a Jurassic Park situation. There's a bunch of like machinery and shit.
Yeah, could very well be. Yeah, if you're into dinosaurs, you're probably gonna like this game. So, Matt.
Yeah, Matt will have fun with it.
It looks a lot more like, I don't know, also looks a lot more action packed than anything else we've seen outside of that mech game. And that was it. That was the Annapurna Interactive. It's fine. I mean, the thing is that I'm not going to sit here like an idiot and be like, why did they show more ninja action games at the arts and crafts fair? Like, why weren't there more mall katanas at this arts and crafts fair that they're having in South Austin?
Yeah, it's fine. It's just. If when you see the Annapurna, you should know what you're getting usually, and usually it's an artsy game.
Yeah,
and if it's not, that's super rare from them.
Yep. So yeah, there was that, and then I think before we get into actual news, the last thing that we had was a brief update on Project L, which is the fighting game that Riot is making. That's based on the League of Legends.
I'd almost forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I think you and I were the last ones to talk about it because that time when they did that showcase and they showed off of that
looked
stuff.
Pretty cool.
So there's very little to this. They show a bunch of people reacting to the footage that they put out before, going like, "What? Oh, cool!" Blah 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 blah. The main thing is that they said that it's going to be free to play.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and that they're going to. Now, what's interesting is that I feel like of everybody, I don't really know. Do you have any idea how the microtransactions in League of Legends work? Because League is free, right?
I've never played League because I hear it's the most toxic thing in the universe.
Right. So, but I feel like if anybody had a good handle on how to do microtransactions in a way that doesn't make your audience horrifically upset, but also makes you a lot of money, it would be the people that make League of fucking Legends. Like,
well, the easiest thing you can do with a fighting game is you lock costumes behind premier currency or premium currency.
Yeah.
Is usually the name for them for stuff that you buy, and then you probably have characters you can lock with in-game currency probably or premium currency to make it like even.
Yeah,
because that's what Multiverse is doing right now. Like, just try to make everything cosmetic, and that will keep people from like rioting.
Right. I don't know. I still think that the character unlock scheme for Multiverses, it just doesn't work for me after thinking about it, because if they're going to keep adding characters the way that they've been adding characters, like, that shit will stack up quick.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about free-to-play games is just that's just how it is in general.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Of just the issue.
I know. I guess I expected to get more from the Founders Pack that I bought than just like a roster that was obsolete like 2 weeks after it went into beta, like where they're already adding new characters before it's even out of beta yet.
Well,
like,
they only added one guy. And season 1 was supposed to happen. Next week, but that got pushed back. But I don't know if we're talking about that yet.
Oh, I don't think I have that on the list. But yeah, I don't know. I think this could be good. Again, I've learned a lot from Multiverses that I'm not interested in a game that's a fighting game that you just play online against other people, because I don't want to play against other people. Other people are better than I am, and I don't want to. Well, I just don't. Like what? I'm not good enough to play online, and what fun is it to go online and just get your ass kicked over and over again?
Well, no, because that's the thing. That's the issue me and you have, is that we're too good against people we know,
right?
But we're not good enough against people online.
Yeah,
it's always been my issue for years.
And I have no interest in getting good enough to be good online. Like
I'm decent online, but but the issue is that online, once it's like, hey, you're good, you're pretty good, it puts you like at another rank,
another tier. Yeah.
And then the second you're in that tier that's slightly above your range, you just get fucking annihilated.
Right.
And it's like, well, fuck, now I just can't do this.
I always thought that StarCraft did it pretty good, because like in StarCraft, if you lost too much, it puts you down a rank.
Some of the new ones do that. Street Fighter V did that.
Yeah.
For instance. I think Dragon Ball did too, but I can't remember.
Yeah, that's the thing with Call of Duty. Call of Duty was always fun in the beginning when you were low rank and getting like teamed up with the people who just bought the game, as opposed to the people that grinded the beta up to level 80 before it even came out. So
yeah, I wish there was a button that just said, "Hey, I work 40 hours a week. I need to." And I don't want to do this.
I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
I don't take this shit as seriously as they do.
Yeah.
I just would like to have fun.
I was thinking that meme where it's the crying kitten on the controller.
Yes.
It's like, I just wanted to relax.
You know what? I'm perfectly happy. Like, I played the shit out of both Injustice and Mortal Kombat 11, where it was just like, I love playing against the AI. I do not need to play against fucking somebody else. The AIs are good enough to fight, and that I'm like, I can just barely eke out a win, and sometimes I don't, sometimes I lose, and it's fine. So
solid stories too.
Yep. Well, speaking of free to play and online and microtransactions, there's a bit of a dust up last week where Blizzard was sending out surveys to people who are playing Overwatch 2, kind of asking what they would pay for stuff. And one person got a survey that asks them to pay if they would pay $45 for a single mythic skin, $25 for a legendary skin, $30 for a legendary bundle, or $10 for a weapon charm. And everybody was like, what the fuck?
That's ridiculous.
That is absolutely fucking redonkulous. Like,
that's so fucking high.
That's a ridiculous donkey. Now, the thing is that Blizzard came out and they said, like, these surveys were generated from like a script, and the prices that were put in them were kind of randomly generated, like to get an idea. They were in tiers, right?
No, I get it, but it's like it's such a robotic answer.
Yes. Well, for me, what it came down to is something that you and I and everybody else in this show has been talking about for a while. That is like, now is not the time. You need to read the room,
read the
Blizzard.
room, guys.
Like,
that's a bad time to do this.
like Overwatch 2 is already like a shaky baby deer standing on its legs, barely managing to stand up. Please do not push it over.
Yeah.
Like,
do not fucking do this. I've known so many people who loved Overwatch 1 who don't give a fuck about Overwatch 2.
Nope. And I mean, and then the thing is that Overwatch 2 is replacing Overwatch 1.
Yeah,
So
outright. Overwatch 1 is just going to be gone.
yeah, so it's not even like you go back and play it. So
kind of insane.
yep. Well, I mean, Blizzard and Activision are kind of insane. Like
No, they are, yeah.
They're kind of ridiculous right now. In fact, how's about 5 more stories about both Activision and Blizzard? Oh, is that what you wanted?
Let's not.
Too bad.
Can I pay to not?
We got the story that Blizzard and NetEase, who made Diablo Immortal, were working on a World of Warcraft phone game that was supposed to be set as either like a different time period, but was like a dedicated phone game that got canceled.
Well, this is some good news.
Yes. Well, it did result in the disbanding of 100-person team, but
Okay.
in NetEase, but. Yeah.
I don't know them personally. It's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe they gave them a loot box on the way out.
Well, at the the track record right now, it's like I wouldn't trust you to do that right. Like,
No, I wouldn't either.
Blizzard has proven that they cannot be trusted anymore to do shit good. Like,
No.
They've got good art styles, they've got good UIs, but like what they're doing is not good. It's bad.
They lost track of what they were up to a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, what do we got? We got Overwatch. We got Diablo Immortal. There's that new World of Warcraft expansion that I don't give a shit about.
I forgot about that.
The only hope I have right now is if Diablo 4 doesn't suck balls.
It's true. Hopefully it's Diablo.
Hopefully there's not some bullshit that we don't know lurking, waiting for it to come out, and then it turns out it's like, we brought back the real money auction house, and that's the only way to get new equipment in the entire game. Now the mobs just drop coins that you can use to trade into the marketplace for stuff, and there's no more loot drops or some bullshit like that. So,
Also, it's a phone game now.
yes.
We decided fuck consoles.
Yes.
You all have phones, don't you?
Yeah. It's no good. Well, they've got that other phone game. That Warcraft Arclight bundle
that's right.
thing that's also coming out.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Let's see from there. There's a YouTuber online, speaking of Diablo Immortal, this YouTuber, I should say, that has put $100,000 into Diablo Immortal and is unable to play PvP in Diablo Immortal. This is JT is All Business, who is a YouTuber that does this and has like a fan base, and apparently like really early on was just like dumping dumb YouTube money into Diablo Immortal.
Yeah.
And what happened was he raised there's a term for it. It's called MMR, matchmaking ranking. And what happened was that because he dumped so much money into it so early after it came out, it raised his matchmaking ranking so high that there's nobody to match him with.
He is the strongest thing on the server.
He is the strongest person, and the server is like nobody else is even close enough to put into it, because you would never match like a level 2 with a level 6 million, right?
Yeah,
like
that's insanity.
Yeah. And so he literally is like put in trouble tickets with them, and they have confirmed that it is an MMR problem. And he's like, well, if you can't fix this, I want my money back, because I literally can't play, because he's only interested at this point. He's at the cap, right?
He's done it.
He's interested in PvP.
He's defeated the game.
Right. He wants to do the PvP events every week, and it's just like, well, no, you're Superman. Like,
You did this to yourself.
Nobody,
you injected yourself with all the Bane venom,
right?
With all the money, and now you're mad that no one else is covered in Bane venom.
Yeah. At a certain point, I have to say to this guy, no, you don't get your money back. What you have to do is you have to wait for somebody else to spend $100,000 on Diablo Immortal, and then you can fight them.
Yeah,
because
for all eternity.
because you power leveled yourself off the earth. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for somebody that's like, I spent way too much money on this bullshit video game, and now I can't do what I want to do. I can't rule this server. Give me back my money. And it's like, no, you gave it to me. You can't have your money back. You did this.
It's not how our terms and service work. I'm sorry.
Yes. So yeah, that happened. Good news out of Diablo Immortal.
I love this news because it's so fucking stupid.
Yep.
But it's so amazing because they did it to themselves.
Yep.
And B, it shows that it shows that the pay to win in this instance means you're the loneliest person on the planet.
Yes. Congratulations. You're the most powerful player in Diablo Immortal, and your reward is you can't play the game because, of course, you can't. Of course, you can't.
You know what this reminds me of? But you never finished JoJo Part 2.
Yeah.
But there's the bad guy Cars becomes the ultimate being, but he ends up getting shot into space on accident. And he can't get back, and he can't fight anything, but he's the ultimate being, and he's just stuck in space.
There you go.
With nothing to do.
Have fun in space. Let's see. We also, in other Blizzard news, have gotten a report that apparently, again, Blizzard Albany is working on Diablo 4 right now.
Yeah.
Apparently, the QA testers at Blizzard Albany have looked at what's happened at Raven and are attempting to unionize.
Ooh.
And Blizzard Activision has brought in the same union-busting
for
firm
fuck's sakes.
and has restarted this entire thing about how they want the whole studio to vote on it. And, we got to break you guys up, put you in different departments. And, oh, boy, here comes these guys. They're here to help. And by help, I mean tell you all that unions suck and that you shouldn't be in them. They need to stop. Just stop.
Guys.
Just stop for a minute,
Guys.
man. Like, I swear to God, it was like when they banned that dude for the Hong Kong thing, it was like, that was like the burn. It's just been nonstop downhill from there.
Nonstop.
Like Warcraft 3 and all this bullshit and just like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Didn't even learn close to anything from the last time this happened.
No.
What the fuck?
That is true. Well, the other problem I feel like that they're having at this point is that it's like, hey, you guys realize the longer this goes on, that like for younger people, I think there's also just a thing of just like, oh man, joining unions is cool. We all need to join the union because it's cool.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, you've lost it now. Like,
you guys have made it. You made it cool to rebel,
right?
You dumb motherfuckers.
Also, you spent, and I'm not singling out Blizzard for this because everybody knows it. You've spent the last 25 years shitting directly into the QA department. Like just every day Bobby Kotick comes in and just sits down on somebody's desk and pops a big old load. And it's like, yeah, like if you were going to have disgruntled employees, these are going to be them. And once the first domino falls, motherfuckers.
It's so fucking funny to me.
It's been going around that scene in Ants where the grasshopper is talking about how just like, no, it's not even about like the food.
Oh.
There's like a million of them.
You're talking about A Bug's Life.
A Bug's Life. Yeah, sorry, not Ants. Bug's Life.
Ants was the Woody Allen one.
Yeah, the sucky one.
With the one with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
That's a weird fucking movie, guys.
But we're not done yet.
No?
Oh boy, we're not done because we've done a lot of Blizzard, but now it's time for Activision. Well, first off, it's time for Microsoft. Apparently, Microsoft has been dragged into this European like kind of court where they're basically okay. So we've talked about this before. Europe is a sane country that, unlike the United States, is like, hey, what if is it a good idea to let this one giant corporation buy another giant corporation? Would that fuck up like the free market where you're supposed to be able to get stuff? So Microsoft has basically justified that nothing that Activision Blizzard makes is like a quote unquote like a must have, something that would disrupt the industry in a big way if they were to hold it as opposed to it being independent.
So here's the fun thing.
Yeah.
He's technically right.
That is true.
Because what happened was that Activision made all of the studios make only Call of Duty.
Right. That is true.
So the only thing it would affect is Call of Duty, and they said they're going to share Call of Duty.
Well, yes,
So-
and there is nothing about Call of Duty that is unique.
Yeah.
Like you could make another Call of. I can make a Call of Duty. Like
You just remake Medal, or you make Call of Duty again.
Yeah.
And you bring back the Medal of Honor name.
Yeah.
It would take like no effort.
Yeah. Like there's nothing about Call of Duty that's so different. There's nothing. Actually, I was thinking about it, and there's nothing about any of them that are that unique. Like
Halo's the only one that with some uniqueness, and that's just because it's a super soldier thing.
Oh, but they're talking specifically about Activision Blizzard properties.
Oh, yeah, those. No, there's nothing unique.
Like
about
most
of those.
Warcraft is an MMO. Diablo, the ARPG style of Diablo, has been copied ad nauseum.
Everyone's
Overwatch is a
making
hero shooter.
shooters now.
Yep. Warcraft 3, or StarCraft, that's just an RTS. Like there's plenty of RTSs. So there's nothing technically about this.
And that Kangaroo game showed that everyone else can make a Crash Bandicoot game. Technically,
That's true. But the strange thing about this was it involved Microsoft having to come out and be like, there's nothing special about anything that Activision Blizzard does.
they're losers. We trained them wrong on purpose.
That's
as
right.
a joke.
As a joke. Yes. Well, here's the quote. Specifically with respect to Activision Blizzard video games, there's nothing unique about the video games developed and published by Activision Blizzard that is a must-have for rival PC and console video game distributors that could give rise to a foreclosure concern. So yeah, actually, I think that I didn't. There has to be a cutoff with the news that I look up before we do this because there's so much news.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that at some point today, Sony released a statement. They were like, "I beg to differ. Like, if you take this franchise away, it will very, very much affect the financial marketplace of our business." Like,
well, they're not. Again, both sides are not wrong on it.
yeah,
It's just that I don't think Call of Duty is the big thing it used to be.
funny you should say that because apparently Call of Duty is losing millions of players.
Really?
Yes. Apparently, with the Call of Duty Vanguard was such a flop that the end of March 2021, the number of monthly active users, or MAUs, was 150 million. Yesterday, Activision revealed on one of their earnings calls that they're down to 94 million.
Oh, wow.
So technically like 40 million and change lower than 60, almost 60 million lower.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Which apparently Call of Duty Vanguard just nobody was into that. Like everybody was like, nope, don't care.
Was Vanguard the new actual title?
Vanguard was last year's. It was the World War II Special Ops
That's
team
right,
one.
yeah.
I played it with Chris.
I forgot about. Yeah, I forgot that even came out.
Yeah.
And the biggest reason I forgot is because of their free-to-play game really overshadows it.
Yep.
So that probably didn't help with all its crazy-ass events and shit.
Yep. Apparently, though, the solution to this from Activision Blizzard's perspective is more Call of Duty. It's doubling down on pretty much everything. You got Modern Warfare 2 coming out, and then Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, and then Warzone Mobile, and then apparently the 2023 Call of Duty has been delayed a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. This is the problem, right? Is they literally went to the break room and got all their eggs out of the fridge and put them into this one basket in the conference room.
A super specific Call of Duty basket.
And then somebody keeps like wobbling that basket back and forth. All these eggs keep falling out of it. It's like, we should really have more than one basket here, you guys. Like, it seems like a bad idea.
They're like, yeah, that basket's slowly falling apart. They're like, no, this basket has been with our family for generations.
That's right. All right, put some more duct tape on the outside of the basket. They're like, it's more duct tape than basket at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It's the ship of Theseus still, or at this point.
Right. The basket of Theseus. Oh, this metaphor is off the rails. I think
off the craziness.
Let's see. Is there one more, or is that it? Nope. Oh, yep,
this
forgot. Yep. Last things last. Call of Duty is also trying to steal some dogs. There was a new skin for Call of Duty on Warzone. That was I don't know how to say that dog name, Samoyed or whatever.
Samoyed,
like head. like on like an operator body, and there was like a person named Salin, who is actually a big Call of Duty fan, who has an art. It's like an ArtStation account or does 3D art that literally created a character that was this. This is wearing a dog head. It's got like the operator, and not just that, but like they have
the same almost outfit.
Yeah, like there's a like a pad, like a bike pad on the elbow. That's on this one. There's like a pouch on their leg that's got a pouch on their leg. It's like, oh, it's got these wrinkly pants. Like, here's this antenna. Here's an antenna. Like, it's
fucking like almost 1-to-1. Like,
yeah.
The fact that the elbow pad is literally only on one arm, the same fucking way.
The same arm
is like, guys, what the fuck? You didn't even try to change it.
Yeah, the thing is that I'm more inclined than a lot of people to give to be like, there is such a thing as crypto memory, that sometimes people do this shit and they don't mean it. There's also the sort of thing where two people can have the same idea at the same time. In fact, that's what I thought, where I was like, when I first read the story, they were like, well, is it just like, oh, there's a dog head on this operator? And it's like, well, that's not exactly the same thing. And then I was like, oh, no, that's exactly the same thing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if it was the same dog head, but the outfit was entirely different,
yeah,
then you could easily be like, oh, they both had the same idea. But there's like 1-to-1.
Yep.
Like so many giant parts of the outfit.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, come on. Didn't even fucking try.
Yep. It's pretty redonkulous. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and take a break because we're out of Activision Blizzard news. So we're done with that part. And yeah, that means we're going to take a break. And when we come back, oh my God, there's so many tabs left. I don't know what we're going to do.
So many tabs.
I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in a minute. And we're back. And we have a long way to go.
Much to do.
We have much to do. So let's not stand on ceremony.
Let's get down to business.
Let's just fucking crunch, put it up into high gear. Get in the left hand lane.
Story you told me a long time ago.
What's that?
The guy forcefully changed gears.
Oh, that guy that I knew that used to change gears without pushing the clutch in, and he was like, no. Like at first it's really hard, but if you just keep working at it, like it'll be fine after that. I'm just like, I know what a clutch is, and you're just like taking apart moving wheels and then slamming wheels back into them. Like, holy shit. Anyway,
it's a terrible idea.
Yeah. Electronic Arts is a video game company that had a really good quote last week where they said that single-player games are a really, really important part of their overall product mix.
But she's a 10, Jeff.
You could have fooled me. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that dog shit.
That's the reason they probably said that shit.
Yeah. Our players, on balance, they have the core motivations: inspiration, escape, social connection, competition, self-improvement, creation. These things that bring us together as players of games, said Andrew Wilson. When we think about our portfolio, we think about building it out. We really think about two key factors. How can we tell blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they said that they just, they had to give their lip service to it. I don't believe the EA believes this. They also talked about how like the part of this article talked about how like a huge amount of their profits came from 70%, I think, of their profits came from like online services.
Yeah,
but on the other side of that, what single player games has EA put out in the last 2 years?
Just
like
the one, as far as I know.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah,
like that's kind of the only thing.
I can think of, yeah.
So
they're working on the Dead Space remake, I guess.
I guess they have they had that like Sea of Solitude, right? Unravel 2, like the
what that is.
Little ones that came out, but the thing is, I was thinking about this, and we don't want to spend too long here because we have a lot of tabs left, but Michael, I feel like there's a big contention of us gamers, and we all would rather play single-player games, and we all like single-player games more, and we all like them. And it feels like the industry keeps trying to push away from that, and I think it's because, like, no matter what, even the most mediocre online service game makes more money in the long term than a good single player game does.
No, it's true, because a lot of online games, kids love online games because it's a way of hanging out with your friends without having to go anywhere. That's how I treated them when I was in high school. I played a lot of Halo online.
That's why Jason plays fucking Warzone. He plays it with his brother. So
exactly, people want to be social, but they don't want to go anywhere. And in this climate, online is kind of the king at the moment. But single player games, the older I get, the more I'm like, I get why single players or games are so important. More and more, but you buy it once and that's it. Like there's no continuing amount, and every time they try to add something that would add a continuing amount, people lose their shit.
Fucking hate it.
Which is fair, because a lot of times when they do that, they scale back something that makes the game harder to do. Like what was the name of that Mordor game, the second one?
Shadow of War.
Was it Shadow of War? Was that the second one?
Yeah, the first one was Shadow of Mordor, and then the second was Shadow of War.
Yeah, the Shadow of War one was
the orc store.
You could buy
the loot box orcs,
shit, and it was like ridiculous, and it was like, well, this is fucking stupid. And then Assassin's Creed had XP boosts. I don't remember which Assassin's Creed it was. And the first time that happened, that people accused them of making it harder to level up and stuff like that, and so. The backlash is huge every single time that happens. So it's difficult to make all your money back from it. Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the few that was able to do both at the same time. And some places try to do both. Doom 2016 is a great example of that.
Oh, yeah. Doom Eternal even more so.
With the
multiplayer, the weird demons versus slayers thing.
They keep adding different things like that, and a lot of the times it doesn't work.
I don't know. I guess it's just it's disappointing because, I mean, the thing is that I think that human beings, it's a big swings here. Like humanity in general, that we are primed for stories. We love stories. We love the information of stories gets passed around
since the beginning of time.
Yes, and that single player games have a story usually. They have a beginning and a middle and an end because they're a single player game that ends right. Multiplayer games, they're made to be open ended, so they don't have an end. And without an end, you can't have a dramatic conclusion. And I think that if you ask people, you will find that dramatic conclusions are the best part. When you get to the end of the season of anime, or you get to the season. Better Call Saul has 3 episodes left. I'm just I don't know what's going to happen to this dirtbag lawyer. Oh God!
We just know that he's going to end up in another show at some point.
Right.
The rest of the cast is the issue on that one.
Yeah, the part at the end of the Gray Man when the fist fight goes out, or John Wick gets his dog back, or the end game of Avengers, and it's those things. I think the ending makes the story better. The story wouldn't be as good if it just never stopped. If it was
what's the word I'm looking for? It's the cock tease that just consistently happens, and you're like, maybe you'll save the day. And then you don't, and it goes on and on and on.
I get that.
It's a comic book, basically.
Live service games are more like sports, where there can be an emergent narrative that happens, something that happened where you could never have suspected what was going to happen, and then suddenly some bullshit. Matt and Jason and I win Warzone, and it's just comes out of nowhere. I don't even know what fucking happened. It just that stuff. But it's never as satisfying as a story, in my opinion. For me, it's not as satisfying as a story.
Well, no, it's only
a crafted narrative takes you somewhere.
Well, because you feel like you used your time wisely, kind of thing. Whereas when you do it in a multiplayer sense, you're like, well, it's a nice story, but it's a very specific niche story that only a certain amount of people would find exciting.
Right.
Whereas a gaming story, you can explain the plot of a game the same way you explain the plot of a movie. And you feel like you've told a narrative the same way. And so it feels much more, worth your time, I guess.
I agree. Also, you can get yourself into trouble if you just churn out a bunch of crap and it's all live service crap, like Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of not Ubisoft, we also had a Bungie, a quick development with Bungie. Bungie has pulled back. They used to be a lot more communicative with their fans.
Yeah, they talked a lot.
But they have rolled that shit way back. And in their Reddit, there was a thing where somebody asked about it, and they were just like some of the new changes that we've made have resulted in people sending death threats to the developers of this game, like really serious harassment, where we're just like, whatever positive engagement we're getting from social media is not worth the like threats of violence that come because we changed the rocket launcher drop rate.
Well, they've been given some insane shit. I don't know if you have the story about the people that, like, the specific things that happened to two people that worked for Bungie.
I know there was the one guy where the guy literally was like saying he was going to go burn his house down or whatever.
No, there was one where like the guy and his wife both worked for Bungie.
Yeah.
And they were calling them consistently, asking them to make like a racist killing DLC or something like that.
What the fuck?
And at one point, they sent a pizza to the guy's house.
Oh, Jesus.
Like shit like that. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about this with Amanda in the last two podcasts, where I'm just like, I love video games. I talked about this a little bit with Grand Theft Auto 6 and all the big leak that happened last week.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man, you know what? Like, look, at the end of the day, like, I fucking love video games. I love them so much. I just got done talking about how much I love video games.
Yeah.
But they are just video games. They're not worth harassing people in like life, in real life, you know. And oh my god,
gamers are a mistake. I'm just kidding. But no, there are people who are just, they don't understand the line. They take it as a personal assault on them for like no reason.
Yeah.
And then so they act in kind, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible.
It's because they didn't get an ending to Destiny.
Let's see. This is a very weird story. I don't know if we want to do this, but okay. Speaking of really weird shit, there is an esports team called the Bren Esports Team in the Philippines, and apparently the owner, Bernard Liu Chong, is being sought by the Philippine police in connection with a $33 million drug bust where a bunch of meth was in like a shipping container that was like moved by a freight company that he owns. And then like this is one of those things that's probably going to go off way to this. It's just kind of an interesting, it's so tangentially related, right? Like to video games, because he's just the guy he runs this one esports team. But it's like, it seems that his side of the story is like, I didn't fucking know. Like, I just run this shipping place, and the police are like, well, no, you had to have known. And so he's on the run. So he fucking booked it, and like they're manhunting him now. And
God. Look, officers, I swear it was surprise mechanics. You have no idea what you're going to get in the shipping container.
That's right. It was just a big loot box. And I opened up and I was like, oh god,
you just happen to get the super rare meth content.
It's a very low drop rate.
Just the lowest drop rate ever.
There's
it was part of a Breaking Bad event that went horribly wrong.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
There's not a lot more to say besides that, because that's kind of the entire story. But I thought it was not really interesting. Yeah. Kind of weird. Let's
kind of
see.
insane, yeah.
In other big outrageous news, you gotta save Minecraft, Michael. You gotta save Minecraft. Do you know about this?
I read this that you sent me.
So Minecraft apparently has extended their terms of service, and through a new update will basically be responding to not necessarily actively monitoring, but responding to tickets for certain types of hate speech and threats and doxing and stuff like that on private Minecraft servers. So you run a private Minecraft server, but you have to log into it through like your Microsoft account. So you're tagged in the thing, and then somebody on the Minecraft server complains, and they said you did a no.
They're like, not on my Christian server, they said.
And then they're able to look you up, and then you can be banned. And when you're banned, you can be banned off of like public and private Minecraft servers, like full banned.
Either days or forever.
Yes. Now, part of the story is that these incidents are supposed to be there's not going to be any like AI touching them. It's going to be manually reviewed by people before any decision is made, which is good. Also, a lot of people I'm so torn about this, because like, I think that there is kind of an interesting concern here about privacy, and like, if I run my own private server, that's my private server. I can allow whatever the fuck I want to on it. Versus, like, the majority of people who play Minecraft are children, and like, and also the tone of the response from the shit rubs me the wrong way, because it's just like
Both sides are kind of shitty about this,
they're
to be honest.
censoring Minecraft, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You really need a server where you can use the N-word like a lot in Minecraft? Like, I don't know. There's this problem with censorship where people will be like, censorship, and it's like, well, but then the scenario that they have to like concoct of where that would be a bad thing is like, what if somebody came onto my server and injected a script to add a bunch of like racist stuff into my chat, and they immediately reported me, and it's like, well, I don't know, man. Then you like escalate that ticket and like get your shit taken care of, or like, well, you know, what if somebody comes into my server and then they say all this bad stuff to try to get me in trouble? And it's like, well, then they'll get banned. You won't get banned. I don't know. Like,
Well, no, because because again, I read through it as there are actual precedents for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's a literal like thing that works apparently in current Minecraft that will let you pretend to write stuff.
Yeah.
For that other people said, which I assume that's how people make a lot of the memes that people make. Kind of thing. But also you have to remember that, yeah, it's mostly for children, but a lot of these children were very young, are adults now.
Sure.
And a lot of adults tend to fuck with each other by saying dumb shit to each other all the time. It's not always racist, by the way. Just dumb shit that most people would like call foul on.
Sure.
Kind of thing. And that's why they got a private server to begin with, so they could keep kids out. But there's also trolls that are willing to like fuck over a streamer in the most extreme ways.
Sure.
And so that could be a thing, and it all comes down to like how easy is it to get your account back is the concern, which I get 100%. Because if it's manually done, because here's an example. I work for a support company. We're behind on something because a specific team isn't working on everything.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that like that could very easily happen here. It could be an open and shut case, but if it's a manually thing done and they don't have enough people to look at it, for all we know, they're not going to get to it for like another month.
Sure.
And so that could be a giant issue for all these people.
Yeah. I don't care.
Here's the thing: I don't play Minecraft, so technically I don't care either. But I get where they're coming from.
I kind of get so. Here's the thing: whenever something like this happens, whenever we get into one of these things, they're just like, "No, abort! Don't do this!" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I think it would be better to fight to fix the loopholes that could cause those scenarios to happen.
Oh, 100%. That's what they should do.
Instead of being like, no, never. Like, also, boy, howdy, I just don't care. I just really like.
Well, that's the thing is that even Microsoft on their end, they're just saying, well, we're not even going to look into those things. Like, they're not even looking into the idea of closing those loopholes.
Sure.
So, in my opinion, both sides are like both sides have a lot of work to do on each other's side.
Yes.
To make this, because it will in the long run. I think it'll be great because again, a lot of kids play Minecraft.
Sure.
So in the long run, I think it'll be great, but in the short term, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done on both sides for that.
I guess, you know what? It always rubs me the wrong way when there's some kind of update, something like this that happens. Like we had a story last week about how VR chat, it was getting review bombed because they introduced a new update that added an anti-cheat software to the software, and that anti-cheat software broke all the mods that people had written for the game. And it was like, well, okay, but you know, if people were cheating and it was the volume of those cheats were so large that there was no way to.
How do you cheat at VR chat, though?
Is
there games in VR chat?
The people go crazy. They will make custom skins, and then the people will like steal them and impersonate them. They'll literally like inject code to rip those people's like skin models out, and then like use them in other places. It's
I don't understand how VR chat works. Apparently,
yeah. In any case, whenever something like this happens, and the response is just like no. Just no, and it's like, well, hold on. This is a good idea.
No, yeah,
let's work together to make it work, as opposed to just being like, no, Never change anything. Leave it the way it was. Never change anything. The end.
It depends on what the idea is, though. And this is an idea that I get 100%, but I get the reaction.
Yeah.
Because people tend to overreact in the beginning all the time. And they'll get over it, of course, because it's a vocal minority.
Sure.
Because honestly, most Minecraft players, again, are children. They don't even know this is happening.
Yes. Yep. I generally think for this one to keep in Minecraft. I don't know. It also is weird, Michael, because I like Minecraft, and then it's like, good, a place for babies and tweens. Get the fuck out of.
That's where they all went.
Get over there. You get over there. Stay out of the places that I play my games, and you get the fuck over there.
They all went to Minecraft and Fortnite, and I was like, yes, finally,
yes,
in world peace.
Don't come to my V Rising server. You stay the fuck over there. You graduate from Roblox to Minecraft, and once you get to be like 25. Then we could talk about letting you out of Minecraft.
That was the funny thing when Call of Duty 4 came out, because I used to play, again, I play a lot of Halo. All the toxic people left to Call of Duty.
Right.
And all the teenagers left too. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this was an accidental win-win for me.
Oh God, I cannot disable voice chat fast enough in Call of Duty whenever the new one comes out every year.
Every fucking time.
So from there, I think this is did you see
I also read this.
Square?
Holy shit.
Okay, this is very little to do with video games, but I don't give a fuck because I want to shit on Square Enix. I fucking hate Square Enix so much now. Square Enix launched a manga app called Manga Up. And it is fucking terrible.
It's really bad.
It's really, really bad. Okay, so first things first. How bad is it? It's so bad that they are putting black bar censorship over non-nudity.
Yeah.
Just like on the general boobage area.
Yeah, the first picture is just a woman wearing a shirt.
Yep.
And it's directly over where her nipples would be.
Yep.
And then the other one is just over cleavage.
That's Vermeil and Gold, and that's, I believe, my dress-up darling. So, yeah, which the thing is, these are both sexy time animes, like or sexy time mangas. Don't put them on the surface if you're gonna put this huge black bars over it.
That, the big black bars make it seem so much worse.
Yes,
than what's actually going on it.
Yes, but then the thing is that they figured it out, Michael, because. There was a montage that they had of these different ones from different things, and then like one of them, is this kind of slated with cleavage, but then in the same page there's the part where she has cleavage where it's not censored out. But then the thing that's interesting, there's one with this is from Dress Up Darling, where it's just the front of a lady's jeans, and I can only assume that because this is being run by an AI, this is being done by an AI that saw the front of this lady's jeans and went, "That's a vagina. I have to put a black bar over it." Because this last screenshot, Michael, they censored this kid's knee. And when you look at what got censored, it's because it's a fleshy, rounded part that's a knee, and some AI saw this and thought it was a boob or a butt.
That's amazing. It's so okay. That is so much worse.
Yeah.
It's so much funnier than I thought it would be.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Not just that, though, because it gets worse.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because I skimmed this one. I didn't read the whole thing.
So first up, so censorship everywhere. Censorship, like Buzz Lightyear, censorship everywhere.
Jesus Christ.
So they actually put out a statement from the Manga App Global Twitter thing that said, in consideration of each mobile platform's policies, some modifications were unavoidable to release the app to the whole world outside of Japan. This is not limited to only English-speaking countries. We are still in the early exploratory phases and will strive to improve while listening to your feedback. In the meanwhile, some of the content is available uncensored through other official streams, so please continue supporting the artists. Basically telling you, like, go buy it if you want it, even though this is a service to read manga.
Jesus Christ.
Also, I know the Shonen app doesn't do this shit because I had it for a little while.
There was some comments on these tweets that, like, follow the Shonen app. The Shonen app knows what it's doing.
Yeah. But, Michael...
Oh God, does it keep going?
Oh, it gets worse.
What do they do? How far does it go?
It gets worse. It's Square Enix, and much like Activision Blizzard, they can't stop fucking themselves. They just can't stop shoving the stick into their bike spokes and flying over the handlebars. they gamified this.
They what?
They gamified the manga reading app.
How?
You get 8 free reads a day, and if you want more than that, you can buy it with microtransactions.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. You can also earn experience points from reading, which is the free currency that you can spend. But we're not quite done yet.
Oh, God.
Because the other thing is that they have split individual chapters into multiple parts to mean that those 8 parts a day might not even cover an entire chapter.
Oh.
Getting you almost through a chapter and then needing to microtransact your way to the end of the chapter. Shonen is like $2 a month. The Shonen app, like the subscription to Shonen Jump on the phone, is like $2 a month. It's so low.
Here's the other thing, guys. It's super easy to pirate manga.
Oh yeah.
And ever.
Oh yeah.
Ever. There are little whole websites that are just read this specific manga.
Yeah, you don't even have to download it. You can read it on the website.
And it's just on there.
Yeah.
That's how I read My Hero. There's a website that's just read Hero Academia or some shit, and it's just every fucking chapter as it comes out.
How could this?
What the fuck?
How could this have happened?
What the absolute fuck?
How in the world could this have even fucking happened?
People just want to support the things.
Yeah.
That's all they want to do.
Yeah, you could totally steal everything that's on here. But people are trying to be good boys and the girls and read with pay the money.
I read Dragon Ball Super as it comes out on the Viz website to support it, basically.
Yep.
And this is just laughable. Jesus Christ.
You gain there's 3 different types of experience points that you could gain from completing or reading the chapters. Yes. Up points, XP, and coin. What a fucking shit show.
This is the stupidest fucking app I've ever heard. This should be shut down immediately.
Yep.
Just scrap it. No one's going to use it.
Yep.
You can pirate all of these things without censorship.
Yeah, they spent years trying to get the West interested in anime and manga, and as soon as they do, it's just like, oops. The idea is the idea that it's like, well, we only wanted to make one app because there are countries where you can't put shit like this out without censoring it, right? But not in America. This is the land of titties and cheeseburgers, motherfucker. Like, come on.
Apparently, it's also not the land of knees.
I want to get those big booby anime demons. Get them on my screen.
I used to be an anime protagonist until I took a censorship to the knee.
Let's see. From there, we had some news about Marvel Snap, that card game that they're putting out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Apparently, it's in beta right now, and they had a whole thing where they were doing these Nexus events, where part of the Nexus events were that you would have a chance to get Jane Foster as Thor, right? As a tie-in.
No.
Apparently, the drop rate on it was incredibly low, and the Nexus event was very tedious, and people ended up spending money to try to get this card, and then they didn't get it. One of the things that the team has said is that you shouldn't have to spend money to get the cards that you want. Like, you should be able to get them
any of the cards
through the in-game mechanics. And so the beta community was like, what the fuck? And after some back and forth, they did the right thing. First of all, they gave everybody in the beta the Jane Foster thing. They announced they were dissolving the Nexus events in total, and that they were going to go back and rework, look at the drop rates and rework it to a point where it feels good and comfortable for everybody. And they refunded any money that anybody spent during that beta period on the event.
That's amazing. That's actually really amazing.
It gives me a lot of good feelings about this project that they would roll it back that hard, that they listened and rolled it back.
I've seen that happen in a couple other things where they're like, look, we overfucked this thing.
Yeah.
Because they were so adamant that hey, you shouldn't have to ever spend money to get these things.
Yes.
And according to them, the events weren't even events. They were just throw money at it.
Yeah. So good stuff.
Good for them. Very good for them.
From there, this is such a non-story. We're skipping it. Steam was down in Indonesia. It's back.
Because they censored it all.
because Indonesia had a tech bureaucracy in the government, and Steam, Epic, Origin, and a few other PayPal didn't register by the deadline, and so they just cut off all the access. I guess I'm doing the story. And then Steam and Epic and a few of them they did register. Actually, I don't think Epic is back up, but Steam is back up. It was like the company just had to register with this government organization. They didn't. They hit the deadline. They just fucking turned off the big switch for Steam, and then Steam was like, okay, where's the form? All right, I'll fill it out. Okay, here it is. And I turned it back on.
I'm imagining Gabe Newell showing up in Indonesia. Where's the form? Just asking people how to fill it out. I can't freaking read your shit. What am I supposed to write here?
Yep. We got the solution to what the fuck was going on in Nier Automata.
I read this, and it was kind of weird.
It's kind of amazing. So over the last couple weeks, there's been this kerfuffle with Nier Automata, where there was a user that came online and showed an area where they were able to open this door and go into what was a previously unknown area with some weird assets in it. And it kind of got big because I was telling you, it was actually kind of interesting because you say, surely if that room is there, you should be able to go into NoClip and find it, right? But Nier Automata loads assets as needed, and it's possible that some trigger hadn't been hit to load the assets for that. Say, ask Yoko Taro. Yoko Taro said, you guys that are following me, I don't think this is a Twitter account that you want to be following. I don't tweet in English. I just say whatever the fuck I want to. I like beer and hot dogs, and that was it.
Good for him.
Square Enix was contacted. They had no comment about this.
Oh, wow.
There is a Switch version of Nier Automata that is on the way, so there could have been new content that was being
that they were worried that it was part of it.
That
accidentally got access. Know what to say.
Yes. None of that. And then the last thing was, surely this is a custom mod. And they were like, no, there are no modding tools for Nier Automata. There haven't been ever.
That was the thing, yeah, because people were like, maybe they modded in the thing, and people were like, there's no way to do it.
Right.
Over and over again. That was the answer every single time somebody brought up a mod.
Yep. And that's what this was it was a viral stunt because this guy made modding tools.
Yeah. Three people.
Yeah.
Worked hours and hours to finally figure out how to fuck with the internet.
Yep. So yeah, they announced that basically there's new tools being added to Blender that can be used to add new geometry into the game world. Nier Automata modding. I can't believe it's not a thing already, but apparently it's about to be.
It must have worked very strangely for them to taken this long.
Well, it's also a really weird game. I
think that's why though.
If I get put together.
I've heard of games taking a long time for somebody to mod. I don't remember the last one that I heard that happened to, but it was like a really big feat to make it work.
Call me when you can get custom skins in there. That's what I really want.
They're working on it, probably.
Call me when I can put some pants on 2B or whatever.
They're working on the no pants mod right now.
No, Jeff. I don't want no pants. I want more pants. She's already wearing a skirt. I want pants under the skirt. I don't need to look at Yoko Taro's jerk off fetish every time I want to play Nier Automata.
Well, that's exactly what they want, Jeff.
Yep.
That's the future the liberals want.
The entire internet got really, really, really excited for one really boring screenshot.
Wait, what?
Concerned Ape, the maker of Stardew Valley, put out a screenshot for their next game, Haunted Chocolatier, that we got the announcement of, I believe, at the Game Awards last year.
I forgot about that, yeah.
And they put out this one screenshot. There's very little in it. There's basically nothing. It's like a library. And apparently people were like, oh my God, and went fucking nuts over it because Stardew Valley fans are crazy.
Oh, dude, they love that shit.
Yep.
The jam.
Yep. Or chocolate. But yeah, there's not much more to say outside of what a bunch of maroons. Yep. Let's see. From there, we got the cover art and some new gameplay details of AEW Fight Forever. There was actually a trailer that went along with this, but it was very short. We haven't actually seen really anything actually from this game yet. I don't know if you know this. This is where Ukes went when they stopped doing the WWE franchise. Yeah. And AEW is also like the kind of ethical upstart that is taking on the WWE right now.
Yeah, they're the one. I have a lot of wrestling fans on my feed. Jordan Cobb is one. Mm-hmm. John, of course. as well as a few others that I didn't realize were that into wrestling. It turns out.
Yeah.
And yeah, in AEW is the one they talked about it all the time. And yeah, they tend to be the like you said, the ethical replacement kind of thing
for WWE's horseshit.
And there's a lot of apparently really good wrestlers on it, and some of them were people who used to be on WWE at some point too.
Well, I know that CM Punk is here on the title.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the guys who had left and came there.
Yep. And it appears it's also going to have a like a whole career mode, like the WWE ones have, where you get to create a custom wrestler and go through a whole campaign, and then there's the normal stuff you would expect with tag teams and ladder matches and something called unsanctioned lights out, which I usually hear you have to pay extra for, but
you got to mod that. Yeah, normally
you got to mod those pants in. So yeah, that's cool. I'm glad. I'm glad that somebody somewhere has presented an alternative for wrestling fans besides the horse shit that is the WWE.
Yeah,
because I've listened to Amanda and John talk about how crappy that place is for years now.
Apparently, it might get better with the ousting of Vince McMahon finally.
Yeah.
The forceful outing of him.
I didn't really even look at that story.
He retired, quote unquote.
One of those.
One of those kinds of things that's happened to somebody.
We found out that Wo Long, which is that new feudal Chinese action game from the Team Ninja that does Neo, where we saw the trailer for it. I think it was at E3, right?
No, if I remember correctly,
is probably going to have a gameplay trial, which is not incredibly surprising because like both Neo and Neo 2 had several trials for them to tweak things. But it's good to know that we're going to be getting one at some point in the future. So
good for them.
Yeah. Also says it has a morale system.
Oh.
I don't know what that means, but
means either do bad shit or don't do bad shit.
I wonder if my boy Kong Ming's going to be in here.
I need to watch that though.
So good. So I'm like, I know there's only one season and it's all the way out. I'm trying really hard not to just be like, I'm like watching like 2 episodes a week, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. I don't watch anymore. Yeah. Speaking of shit, you're probably gonna get later this year. Apparently, Sony is gonna be pumping out a whole bunch more PS5s for holidays. So
I know a lot of people who finally got one. My brother finally got one after searching for. It's been what, 2 years now?
Yeah, they came out. We got them during the pandemic.
Yeah, November 2020, I think, is when we got them.
Yep.
Finally. Me and you have had one since day one.
Yep.
But unlike most of the world.
Because you were over here when they put up the announcement, the day I'll never forget, where we both managed to get pre-orders in right away, first draft.
We stopped like mid-recording or something, too. Yep. I was like, Jeff, just fucking stop what we're doing.
I was like, why are you on your phone?
PS5. Yeah, you were like, why are you on your phone? I'm like, PS5, apparently, so let's do this shit.
Because they did that shit like a week early, right? Like everybody broke the street date on it.
Everyone,
like,
yeah, because they're like, yeah, it'll be this is the release date, and literally that same day, Target and fucking Walmart, I think, were the main ones that like led the charge of let's just do it now, and tell no one.
Boom, done.
It was fucked. Yeah, but we got real, and that was because, and that again, no one had anything ready. Not even the bots were ready. Yep, and so it made it that much easier to get one at the time.
Yeah, by the
you
time
just had to be paying attention at that exact moment.
By the time the Xbox had gone on pre-order, it was all fucked. I had to try 4 times to get a Series X,
and I didn't get one for like a year.
I don't play my PS5 that much. I'm just basically using it for exclusives or game franchises I already own on it.
See, I'm the opposite. I use the PS5 more than use the Series X.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, apparently, like the supply chain stuff is getting worked out, and so they're seeing an improvement in components, and they're looking to bring a bunch of supplies out. It's got to be both like interesting or like frustrating and not frustrating at the same time for Sony, because like they sell all of them immediately. Yeah. So they've never been, I mean, they just sell out immediately. But then on the other hand, that means that if you could manufacture more, you could sell even more, right? Like you haven't even reached the point where they're sitting on the shelves yet. It's been 2 years and they still sell out instantly. So
the main issue they're having is the fact that even though they sell out, they're not selling out of games.
Right.
Because not everyone who has bought one actually is using it.
Is buying every game. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. We also found out that Sony is retiring the accolades feature for the PS5.
No. Come back.
Do you even know what this is?
I forgot it existed until this story came up, to be honest.
Yeah. Basically, there was a way for you to just like rate people that you played with online.
Yeah.
So you could have like a reputation that people could see, and no one ever fucking used it. So
I would see it whenever I would look at like a friend or something, and it'd be like, "Do you want to give them like it would say like give accolades?"
Right.
And I was like, "Why? They're already on my friends list. I don't have a reason to."
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it just never occurred to me to ever use it.
Yep. So
But no one knew what it was. I knew no one who knew what it was.
Michael, have you ever used the hint cards
No.
on your PS5?
I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
The context specific tutorial
Yeah.
hint cards, the spoiler tag stuff.
I just YouTube it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because it's forced to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
So
I use the screenshot thing a lot though.
This is pretty cool. Last week we got the release of the Backbone 1, which was an officially Sony sanctioned. It's like a bracket that you can put an iPhone into.
Yeah.
That then puts like a DualSense on both sides of it. You know what? I really like the idea of this more than the put the bracket on the back of your controller and then have the phone on top of it, like the way that like the Xbox streaming. And this is specifically to use your phone as a streaming device for games, but then have like full on controllers so you can use it to remote play on a PS4 or PS5. Which is a good idea. It's kind of cool to have that. I'm a little sad that it's only for iPhone.
Well, there are third-party controllers that are already like this in general.
Yeah.
That you could get. I know Zach, a friend of my friend Zach has one for doing Xbox stuff. So like it is doable. It's just that none of them are official.
It's also the thing is the other problem that I have is that my phone isn't very big because I wanted to prioritize something to go in my pocket, not to be fucking huge. I've had a huge phone in the past.
Yeah, because mine's bigger than yours, I think. But my issue is that I added the thing on the back, the little pad thing.
Yeah. So how much bigger is it? It's a little bigger, 1/2 inch on all sides, maybe 1/2 inch tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This is I do like it when you get like an officially sanctioned thing, right? As opposed to
well, I like the officially sanctioned one because they go out of their way to try to make them really comfortable,
right?
Kind of thing, as well as like as compatible as fucking possible with their actual service.
Yeah.
So yeah,
as opposed to some janky shit you bought off of Amazon,
which may work, but you never know, kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, maybe instead of using this, I can use this new thing that Logitech is making with Tencent, which is a dedicated handheld gaming device that is made specifically for streaming GeForce Now, Xbox Cloud gaming, and a few other things. So like a cheap handheld kind of Switch, but with like bare bones hardware that just is made to do nothing but stream, dedicated, as opposed
That's actually kind of neat.
As opposed to a thing on your phone or like a service that something else has to connect with,
like a Steam Deck
dedicated device. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know, that's the advantage of streaming, right? Is that like if you get something that's way lighter even than my phone, because it doesn't have to have a camera, it doesn't have to have processing power, all it has to be able to do is like talk to networks fast and then stream that shit and have a controller, and if the controller is built in a way that makes it kind of a Steam Decky, portable type of thing, that could be great. That'd be great.
It's going to take some work, though, because the Wi-Fi cards are not exactly the smallest, though.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. I don't know. Speaking of... this is just a public service announcement. If you want one of those Sega Genesis Mini 2s, you really need to pay attention. We talked about selling out PS5s. These are those ones that you're only going to be able to import via Amazon Japan. Yeah. And it costs $120 after shipping, $100 plus 25 shipping from Japan. Apparently, there's going to be very few of them. It'll be 1/10 of the Sega Genesis Mini offering, which didn't sell very well.
Honestly, I think I don't really see a reason to get this thing.
I mean, the problem is the price It's $120, and I could build you a full Raspberry Pi 4 for $120.
Well, not only that, they re-release Sega games in giant packs that are like $30 all the time.
Yep.
Like I think there's one on the PlayStation that's like $30 that comes with most of the games on both of those systems.
Yep. Plus Sega Genesis 32X and Sega CD emulation is rock fucking solid. Like
it's really easy.
It's really easy to do.
It takes like no effort.
Yep. Oh, hey, we're doing pretty good here. All right. From there, let's see. We got a bunch of new stuff from kind of semi-related to Dead by Daylight. The first was a trailer for codename Project S, which appears to be, this is not from the Dead by Daylight developers, but it's from their publisher, and it appears to be a kind of open-world puzzle adventure game.
Yeah, it reminds me of
like The Witness.
The name of it. Yeah, The Witness that's what it was called.
Yeah. Where you kind of pull up to these puzzles and they're like abstract, but then it does seem like in between there's a little bit more like, I don't know, platforming kind of adventure-y type of stuff.
That's because you can see your, like, at least based on some of that, you can actually see your character, whereas The Witness it's all first person.
Yep. I guess it's kind of interesting because, I mean, like, everybody was into The Witness when it came out, but then there weren't a lot of, like, Witness clones that came out.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting, but I think it's because it's so difficult to make interesting puzzles that, like, whoever probably even wanted to do that just gave the fuck up. They're like, what if the puzzle is that you twist it this way, and then they couldn't solve their own puzzle, and they're like, this is stupid.
They also don't have Jonathan Blow money to just be a one-man development crew that doesn't ever have to fucking work again, and you can just sit around wanking off a puzzle game for 5 or 8 years.
Yeah, there's that too, yeah. That also helps.
As opposed to having to, like, turn a profit. I don't know. Looks all right. Definitely doesn't look... okay, what do you think about... What do you think about Meet Your Maker, Michael? This one is coming from some of the devs of Dead by Daylight. Did you watch this one?
I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it.
It's very weird. So it's kind of a cross between Fortnite and the Castle Doctrine, where you have to build a facility, these big kind of abstract, rusty, weird metal towers on this post-apocalyptic world, and then inside of the tower you have you're mining for genetic material. You're collecting genetic material to give to this organism that'll save the world, and then you set up traps and turrets and enemies and stuff.
Oh, so it's old school Fortnite, like original Fortnite.
Well, no, because then other people have to run the gauntlet to try to steal your shit, like Castle Doctrine, where...
Oh, okay. So there are other people that can come to where you are.
Yeah, the way that you get a leg up is you either kill the people that are invading your spot or you invade other people's spots. But it seems like they're not like the... Like, one of the things they said in here is that you'll never lose resources from other people's invasions. So that, like, you can gain resources from taking on other people's bases, but you don't lose resources if they take stuff from your base. So, which is interesting because I feel like that does kind of solve the Metal Gear Solid 5 nuclear
really
disarmament
does. I was thinking that too, because MGS5 was like, that was fun in theory, but I really hated people stealing my shit all the time.
Yeah, and then like and then the combat when you attack other people's areas is like a shooting melee grappling hook, and because you can like use the traps in the other person's area to like destroy their guards. Like, you could trick the AI into killing itself.
Oh, okay.
And you can do it multiplayer. You can bring a partner to go with you, and it's encouraging you to apparently like run the same person's dungeon multiple times to see if you can get through, learn more, like die, go back. So I don't know. It's the downside. This all sounds good, right?
Yeah.
The downside is it is ugly as sin. Like,
yeah, but I think that's on purpose, though.
Yeah,
like this is its art style to try to look as grungy as possible.
Yeah, but I don't want to play it. It looks so grungy. It looks like one of those third-tier Warhammer first-person shooters.
I see. I actually totally understand that.
Hired gun. It looks like hired gun.
I think the other part is that some of the stuff is kind of simplified for the building stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that also adds to really weirdness to it.
Yeah, there's not like rooms or furniture or anything. It's just kind of like big hallways with traps and stuff in them. So
A lot of just like steel parts and stuff like that.
I feel like they need a button to kind of like, once you've laid out the thing, then it makes it look like a real level in a video game as opposed to a sparse Fortnite building that's just walls.
Yeah, like customize the area, be like, oh, I'm gonna add a little set of fucking plants over here, kind of thing.
There are custom things. They talk about the lighting, and then like the sprays and like the colors of stuff, but it's still very, very sparse. Now I don't know. Like I didn't think Dead by Daylight was going to be a thing, and then it really, really was.
It's true. Yeah, I can see a lot of streamers taking advantage of this game.
Yeah.
And I see why the way it's built is probably designed to make it as easy as possible for everybody. So
yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be a good time for a lot of people.
We'll see. We got the launch trailer for Hooked on You, a Dead by Daylight dating sim. Oh
Jesus,
shit, that's out today.
Yep.
Amanda and I played that right before Michael and I record this podcast. So
is that what you guys are doing?
Yep. Hey, dating simulator with a bunch of murderers came out. Amanda was really mad that I didn't let her play the mortuary assistant, and I was like, well, look on the bright side, I've got a dating sim. She's like, but I wanted murder, and I'm like, oh boy, have I got a dating sim for you. Did you know this was made by the same people that made I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger looking good?
You actually told me that because I didn't know when it was going to come out, and then you're like, hey, this crazy fucking thing just got announced and then was also just fucking out.
Yep.
I was like, oh my god.
Also, this game is 10 whole American dollars. So
okay. The Colonel Sanders one was free, right?
Yes, because that was a commercial for
that was an actual
fucking chicken.
KFC. That was a chicken commercial. Yeah.
It seems like this one's got a lot more going on it than the other one did. It's got some there's little mini games and stuff, and you get to hang out with the various crazy motherfuckers.
And these are all the original killers.
Yes.
Like they're none of the crossover killers.
No, but they are the I'm pretty sure that the one girl, the Spirit, I believe, is from a later update after they started doing that stuff, because she, I believe, is their Ringu, the Asian ghost.
Yeah, but I think, but you know what I mean. Like, I mean, they're original characters.
They're all OCs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was meaning.
Because we also got a really cool trailer for.
It was actually a really cool trailer.
The next crossover. There's actually been one previous Resident Evil crossover where they added the police station. That was the one that had Nemesis, and it had Jill Valentine. But this time we got Rebecca Chalmers, Ada Wong, and Albert Wesker. You son of a bitch!
Albert Wesker's coming
in
with his sunglasses and his smarkiness.
Sunglasses and your tentacle arms. I wish this game looked like this. This is a cool cutscene.
Yeah, that's always been my issue with Dead by Daylight. Is it looks really cool in theory, but every time I actually watch the game itself, I'm like, this is just okay.
You know what? They need a sub mode that's like a fighting mode, like a where you can have the various hunters fight. Because I want to see like Wesker and Pinhead square off.
I would love that. Actually, that would be great. Because that's my issue with the game. Is it's. Like, it's not really a versus thing because the survivors don't really do anything.
They're trying to escape. They're trying to get the fucking thingies turned on.
Yeah, but that's all it is. That's why I like the Evil Dead game so much, is because it's like it's a literal versus thing.
Yeah,
it's like everybody's fighting everybody.
Yep. Let's see. From there, we got a trailer for Cryptmaster. I put this one in at the last second. Did you watch this?
I didn't. I didn't get a chance.
It's very weird. It's like a monochrome first-person demons and dungeons thing, but the way you interact is typing of the Dead style typing.
Huh.
So like they'll show combat here where like a character holds up a shield and then the shield says like not H, E, or V or something like that, and then you get to like type hit or attack or zap for stuff, and it's got like these letters that you pick up, so you're trying to do like Scrabble on the fly. And then this main character is like a weird dungeon master. At the end he's like, dude, are you going to join me now? And the person types maybe, and then they say maybe, and that's kind of the end of it. I'm like, I that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I actually really like that idea because it takes the what was the text dungeons from way back when, but adds the visuals to it.
Yeah. Also, it's got Typing of the Dead vibes.
Yeah,
because
also Typing of the Dead, yes.
Typing of the Dead.
I was a big fan of Typing of the Dead. That's how a friend of mine got really good at typing.
Also, everybody needs to learn how to type.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to learn how to type. I took typing in high school because I'm
I
that
did
old.
not, amazingly enough.
Typing, learning to type was a prerequisite for any computer class. So that I had to waste a whole semester on like secretary pool typing skills, just doing the drills and typing on a big electric typewriter.
We actually
go
had
to class.
When I went to high school, we actually still had classes kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, and then the only reason, I don't remember what you needed them for specifically, but a lot of people had to take them.
Yep.
And I didn't because I was taking an actual like engineering thing they were trying to do at the time.
I used to type up these. I used to type this thing. It was kind of like it was like a zine almost. I called it Thoughts by Jeff, and it was like teenage Jeff doing like funny, stupid 90s jokes. And so I would type them up on our free time in the typing class, and then I would have one piece of paper with the typing on it. This was before I had like a computer and a printer.
Yeah.
And then I'd go and show it to my friends and make them read it. And they'd be like, one of those was kind of funny. The rest of them sucked. And I'd be like, yeah, one was kind of funny.
I once wrote an entire short story on a calculator in the middle of a math class.
Did it have a lot of...
showed it to my teacher, and she was very confused.
Did it have a lot of boobs in it?
No, it was about a guy who went on an Amazon trip with a German tour guide who he was pretty sure was checking the wind a lot because he put his hand in the air a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the implication was that his German tour guide was a Nazi.
So it was all about the implication.
And then eventually he pisses off a bunch of natives, and then like he runs away. Like, it was a comedic like story I wrote on the fly, and I had a lot, and I showed it to my teacher, and she's like, you did that when I was explaining all this math stuff? I was like, yeah, unfortunately I didn't hear a word you said. And she was just like, what the fuck?
We also got a Twisted Fates trailer for Soul Hackers 2. I'm real excited. This game looks like my kind of anime shit, like Shin Megami Tensei, the internet version of Devil Summoner. Like,
yeah, this was that game that we kept seeing like trailers for, and we're like, what the fuck is this?
Yep.
But the more they show for it, the more you're like, actually, this looks kind of amazing.
yeah, all the wackiness of Shin Megami Tensei, but not like demons or high school, but like the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, yeah, if anybody was gonna create demons, it would be the internet. So
Yeah, we just talked about Bungie's whole thing, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what they are. They're
Yeah.
Bungie people.
But yeah, this was cool. It was kind of interesting because this trailer really didn't focus on the main character. It focused on
Yeah.
a lot of sub-characters.
That's the thing. I didn't recognize what it was originally because none of the trailers showed any of these characters, and it didn't show the main character until like the end of it.
Yep. Let's see. We Are OFK has a release date.
Yeah.
This is the episodic one, and it looks like they're going to be doing it like 1 week at a time. Episodic, there's going to be 5 episodes. I think the first 2 are going to drop on the first week, but said like a 4-week event. This is that one that is just like crazy. Like, the thing is that I really don't think that We Are OFK is for everyone, but I think the people that it is for are going to fucking love it.
Oh, they're gonna love the shit out of this. This is one of those artsy games that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
where like when people love them, they fucking love them.
They love them.
Like Life is Strange is a good example of a game that me and Jeff just do not fucking get.
Nope.
But the people who do fucking adore that shit.
Tried real hard, never got it.
I highly recommend still watching those videos that he did with Grant way back when.
Oh,
because they're some of the funniest fucking things I've ever watched in my life.
The original one.
They're so fucking funny. And it has one of my favorite intros of them all.
Yeah,
which is the one is Grant saying, "I can rewind time," and he just punches Jeff Puppet in the face.
Yep, good old punching to Jeff Puppet.
So fucking funny.
Anyway, August 18th is the season premiere of this. I don't know. I really want to give this a try. The thing I like, one of the ideas that I like about this, and they talk about it in this this, or they put it up on the screen, this trailer, is the fact that it's 5 episodes and that each individual episode will have an original song because it's about the band.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 5-song EP essentially by the time it's done, which could work out really well because I don't know, like, We Are Ofk is like, I mean, let's be honest here. It's like woke as fuck, right? Yeah. It's like super pastel. It's very just like LA music scene with young people relating to the youngs. How do you do, fellow youths? But like the song that they had when they announced it was a fucking banger.
It was great.
So,
I still like some of the trailers they had in the beginning for it.
yeah.
I remember being like, oh, this could be kind of cool. But then when I saw what it was, it's like, I don't know if this is for me.
Probably not for me, but the songs
The songs are going to be fucking badass, hopefully.
I don't know. Like,
I'll probably just end up listening to the soundtrack and that's it.
So make sure, I think that might be the only time I've on this entire show ever used like woke as an adjective for something. Like, but it is like it's the only way to really describe it.
It's
like
a woke hipster ass fucking game.
Yeah,
is the best
like,
way of putting it.
And I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing or anything. It's just,
we're not.
those are the vibes.
We're not the people who use woke in that way.
Yeah,
we use it in its original fucking term.
Yeah. Let's see. We got an announcement and release date trailer for Hoco Life, which appears to just be like
it's just Animal Crossing.
It's Animal Crossing for your PlayStation,
which is kind of funny because they don't hide it at all.
Nope.
On its designs.
Nope.
In any shape, way, or form.
Looks just like Animal Crossing.
Please tell me the comments are just like this is just Animal Crossing.
Probably so. Let's see. Can't go wrong with more Harvest Moon Animal Crossing like games. Yep. Yeah, it appears to just be okay, not just Animal Crossing. You don't farm crops in Animal Crossing, so it does have that Harvest Moon crop farming stuff going on. But
so it does enough to somewhat be different.
There's a lot of crossover with the crop raising and decorating and little chibi character stuff.
This is another great example of a game that I'm not super great into, but I totally get it. Although you got into Animal Crossing when it came out.
No.
I thought you did. You played a lot of it.
I tried playing it, and I saw the appeal. Mostly, I was trying to play it because I wanted Jason and I to do a dojo on it.
Okay.
And I wanted to get past the enforced bullshit at the beginning. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't think we ever did a dojo for Animal Crossing ever, because I think it came out early on in the pandemic, and then I don't think I wanted to get to a place where we could actually do stuff as opposed to just like because that game like lets you do like 8 things, and they're like go to bed. Wait, hold on. Did we? I might have done it with somebody else's Animal Crossing.
I swore you did it with like Amanda or something.
Maybe I did. Oh yeah, I think I did. Did we do it? Animal Crossing? This is a quality content. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yep. March 2020. Okay.
Oh, was it Amanda?
Amanda. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So,
didn't you gamefly this one?
I don't remember.
You either gameflied or gave it to Amanda. I think
I gave it to Amanda.
It was one of the two.
Oh no, you know what? I think that we did this, and then like I think I wanted to go back and maybe do one with like Jason at some point, or actually wait, no, this was in March. Didn't Animal Crossing come out in like February? I think I might have been fucking around with it for months, and then
I don't remember when it came out because again I never played it.
Son of a bitch. Son of every bitch. Okay, fine. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it.
We're doing it live, guys.
March 20th. Nope.
Oh, so yeah, you just did it.
Did it same week it came out. There was some reason that I was trying to play it, and it was mostly for trying to do something with Jason. I think during the pandemic or during lockdown or something. And then I ended up playing it for a little while, and then I was like, I fucking hate this. Like, it just every day you're supposed to get up and have the gentlest adventure of all time, and I don't want a gentle adventure. I don't want to shake the tree and see if any bells come out of it. Like
that was the thing about Animal Crossing. It was always like, well, you can go to the flea market if you wake up early enough. I'm like, why do I have to wake up in real life early to get to like some shit like that? I will just go to an actual flea market in real life.
Well, that's the other thing is that I never saw the day in Animal Crossing because I'm a night owl. So I never played it at night, and because it was like on the real day-night cycle, it was always just like, well, it's dark again in Animal Crossing, I guess. I don't fucking know.
It worked on actual time, so you had to actually wake up in real life at early times.
I cannot tell I cannot tell you how enraged I was when I found out that this game literally starts, lets you do some stuff, and then is like, Now come back tomorrow. And it's like, okay, what's the go to tomorrow button? And it's like, no, actual tomorrow.
Yeah, literally come back tomorrow.
Like, you don't fucking tell me when to play you. I tell you when to be played, Animal Crossing.
I remember when the 3DS one came out, my cousin had like literal alerts on his phone to be like, oh, it's the so-and-so event.
Nope.
To like, is like, I better fucking get my Animal Crossing out.
Nope.
I was like, fuck you.
No, sir.
I was like, no.
No, sir.
No.
I don't like it.
I don't have time for this shit.
I don't like it. Don't care for it. We got the pre-utter trailer for Goat Simulator 3. This was delightful.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just a bunch of goats falling out of the sky. That's all it was. Like, actually, it's interesting though to see how detailed the goats look in Goat Simulator 3.
Yeah, they put a lot more work into the goats this time around.
The big boobies, big udders coming off the bottom. So, yeah. Also, you can pre-order Goat Simulator 3. And I believe this might have been a release date. We might get a release date as well with this.
I can't remember.
Was it later this year? I believe so.
It should be on the information part, right?
Yeah. Let's see. November 17th. So,
hey, cool.
And there's some pre-order bonuses. These are all references to previous things that happened. The Dolph Spaghetti. These other animal masks are from the weird crime Payday crossover.
That was a crazy fucking time when they did
that. Kind of nuts. Do you remember they had that, and then they had the trailer that was the Reservoir Dogs trailer?
Yeah,
for fucking goat.
It was fucking crazy.
It's very weird. Did you know that the goat was named Pilgor?
I didn't know he had a name.
I had no
fucking idea.
I didn't know that either. All right, just about done here. Grounded is getting a release date for full 1.0, September 27th, as well as a final update.
I thought it was, but I guess that was when they announced it that last time that they were getting there.
Yes. That I think it was going to be coming out this year, and now it has a full-on date. I'm really excited to go back into it because I played it when it was in early access.
Because that was the weird thing. Yeah, it was super early access when they did that. And I think the last thing to do was the spider originally.
Well, you could farm the spiders for equipment or for resources, but I don't know.
That was the original early access is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
because they didn't even have anything past that point. Because even the spider button thing wasn't there yet.
I think Matt and I played that, and that spider came out, we streaked and ran away. So
yeah, because they added that update eventually. Because people were like, I don't want to deal with this fucking spider.
And then the only other weird thing that I have is like, okay, so there's a developer called R Machinery that was making an alternative to Unreal and Unity, a game engine that they called The Machinery. This week, they basically sent out an email and it said, unfortunately, we've reached a point where it's no longer possible for us to continue in the current direction. And then told everybody that all development on this engine is stopping. And not just that, but they updated their EULA like a week ago, basically saying like, by accepting the EULA, like if we decide to shut this down, you have to also delete the engine and all files off of your machine.
So they don't just like try fucking with it.
Yeah. I mean, good luck with that.
Good luck trying to enforce that because I don't think you have the money to.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're going out of business.
Yeah, especially if you're going out of business.
So,
what are you going to do? Sue me?
I never heard of this engine before, so
I didn't know it was a thing either.
Yeah,
somebody's going to fuck it with it and call it the mechanization instead, just to fuck with them.
Yeah, and then we got some fun stuff. Did you see this guy making Daffy Duck?
I did.
So there's a guy online that's it's just like making Daffy Duck for multiverses. Even though, he's not in there or anything. I really like the 3-hit combo he's got the take off the bill and throw it, which is a good one. But then I don't know if you saw this, but was it just on his Twitter where they had the there's some other stuff, stage entrance, but there was one that was did you see the 3-hit combo?
I didn't. Because
how did I find that? Let's see.
But But
this
there
would
were
be it.
rumors of Daffy Duck being added, but not like as Daffy.
They his combo is the woohoo 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 like old thing. That's the 3-hit combo.
That actually would be really
is
solid.
doing the woohoo woohoo woohoo.
Yeah, so they data mined multiverses as they do, as is tradition.
Yeah.
And one of the rumor characters because of it is Daffy, but not as Daffy, but as Duck Dodgers.
Oh,
which I'm all for that, like 100%.
That's all right. I kind of like old school Daffy a little better, but you know,
I would like both to be honest. But I love the idea of Duck Dodgers a lot because of a lot of his weapon stuff.
Yeah,
as well as that you can make multiple costumes for his actual Duck Dodgers outfit.
Yeah,
which I would love, but. I just love Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck's just a great fucking character. But I also just love Duck Dodgers.
Yeah, go check out Sonic Pucks. Sonic Pucks.
Yeah, and these are really well made, by the way.
They're
like these aren't
very
like
well made.
These aren't like hand drawn shit. This is like literal 3D models that look fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like almost
really
better
good.
than some of the actual fucking art for some of these characters.
What's interesting is that he's a lot of the animation loops. They've been put on like a gray background, but it's like I can only imagine what it would look like once it was in the actual game engine. Would look great.
It would look fucking great. I can see Multiverses having the same thing that people did with Smash Brothers, and specifically the Wii version, which is that they made custom shit for that thing like crazy.
Yeah,
there's an entire thing called Project M for the Wii versions. Smash. I think it was just called Super Smash Brothers when it came out for Wii, and it was people like they rebalanced shit. They added characters, they added costumes and stuff like that. I can see people doing that with the Multiverses one of these days.
I mean, I haven't checked, but like. Is the first thing that happens whenever in a game like this comes out is they just like dump all the models and put them into Mugen?
Oh, people are already making YouTube shorts with these characters.
Oh, okay.
Like with these character models, like already, like immediately.
Interesting.
Like I saw a really great Superman versus Batman one that was just like blew me away.
Well, speaking of crazy mods, you can play as Spyro in Stray if you want.
I actually saw somebody post this because somebody was like, somebody make this official so I can just do this on my PlayStation.
Yeah. It works for the most part. The only thing that doesn't work is Spyro's gargantuan noggin doesn't map onto the little kitty head. So
because he's still like the size of what he is in his game.
Yeah.
Which is way bigger than what the cats were.
Yeah, but you know, it's been nice to see the way that people are really into this game. I'm not into it all that much, but people are way into this game.
So people are modding it to where they're using their own actual in real life cats as the model. Yeah, like somebody's taking commissions. Apparently, he's like, so send me a picture of your cat, I'll make him in the game.
Yep,
and just give me like $30 or something like that. So, yeah, even Tessa was saying that she might do it.
I was telling her, I bet there's a mesh for the cat somewhere, right? You just fucking put that into Photoshop and then paint it the way you want it. But, yeah, it works pretty well. But it doesn't work as well as the coolest thing I've seen all week, Michael, which is fucking Gordon Freeman in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
I saw this and I was like,
rules of nature.
This shit's amazing.
It's the scene from the beginning where he's flipping the Ray over, except it's a Strider and Gordon Freeman, but they fucking put the soundtrack in this crazy butt rock from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and it's worked so well. It's just
amazing.
Really good.
I still have the soundtrack, I think, to this game somewhere, and I might just put it on my phone again.
Yeah,
but because it came with the game. But this is so fucking amazing. I love it. I love the internet's ability to just do shit like that.
Yeah. This is so niche. Like, if I had to explain this to somebody who didn't play video games, it would be like, okay, well, first I have to explain what Half-Life is, and then I have to explain what Metal Gear is, and then I have to explain what Revengeance is, and then I have to explain
why Platinum Games does what they do.
This. Yeah, it's pretty good. This is from, what is the name of this channel? Komagatse, Komegatze, and this is just a person who he does like animations and stuff, and he's actually worked on that Alex mod that they showed off at the PC Gaming Show.
Okay,
and then he was like, "Yeah, I did this in my spare time," and there you go.
That scene is one of my favorite scenes in all of Revengeance.
Yeah.
And I would just love for people to only just mod that one scene as different characters forever and ever.
Yeah, have everybody put in their own mashups of different stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then last but not least, I don't know what the fuck with the internet, but Basically Homeless is a YouTube channel where this guy got sponsored by a Micro Center, I believe, and he built a PC inside of a toilet.
Oh my god.
He's kind of an irritating YouTuber. You know the kind.
Yeah.
But he basically cut a hole in the front of a toilet and then put an epoxy resin on it, and then he took this clear plastic, and he sectioned off the toilet into two sections. One that was going to have the water that goes into the tank, and the other was going to have all the PC parts. He didn't do any 3D modeling or anything. So apparently at a certain point, the first time he does it, the seal wasn't done.
I'm not surprised.
And so it leaked, and so he basically just opened it up and sprayed the shit out of it with the sealant stuff that's ultra sealant. But then he got it working. So at the end, it's like a toilet that has an RGB motherboard inside of it, and then across from it, he's got a monitor mounted with a little fold-up thing that you can put a mouse and keyboard on, and then he goes and he plays Counter-Strike with it. So.
Yeah, because the thing is, because people weren't able to see this and wondering how that works, is that he sectioned off the water itself.
Yeah.
To keep enough water to flush it still.
Yes.
But not overrun the parts that are on the other side.
It can't be a very satisfying flush. Normally your tank is full, right? He's only getting a quarter of that tank.
This would be the kind of thing that you would only pee in,
right?
Kind of thing, because it would not work otherwise.
Yeah, but just as a stupid thing to do on the internet, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Fuck it.
So yeah, go check it out.
Challenge accepted. This is what he said, and he went for it.
Yep. And that's it. That's our show. One podcast done. One additional podcast. One for the history books. Yeah. If you got all the way to the end, do me a favor and go. Let me know in the comments if you want all of the newses, or if you would like me to cut down on newses. If I can,
because you want a question section.
It really would be nice not to have to sort through, because the thing, Michael, is that I have four or five websites that I go through, and I open up in a browser every single news story that's interesting, and then I look at all of them, and I'll even open up multiple versions of the same news story. So then I have this browser that's even more tabs than what you saw. It's it's so many tabs I can barely look at them, and then I read all the headlines, and then I start putting them in an order. I put them in an order of interest, and I try to make some segues, and I try to come up with a good flow, and it takes 90 minutes to put them in order, cull some of the stories, add other ones. Once all that is done, then I'm able to save all of that stuff out. Then I have to literally go through all the tabs and read them to make sure that they're actually interesting stories.
Yeah.
Because I just doing it by the headlines. And sometimes I have to rearrange it a second time. I also have to watch all the things and read all the trailers. I have to read all the trailers. Okay, that's it. Michael, tell them where they can find you. I'm reading trailers over here.
Eat the trailers, watch his food.
Yep.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
Drink the texts.
Yep. Nope.
You can find.
Tell him. I'm trying to end this podcast.
He's got me fucking doing it now.
Fuck.
You can find me on monetization.net. We do a lot of movie television reviews. I actually did do a review for DC League of Super Pets with Chris Cox as well as Wright.
Yep.
Who's a friend of Tessa's. We did finish Duke Nukem Forever on Patreon as well.
We did indeed, yes.
So that you can find that on there too.
Yeah. Patreon.com/RageSelect. That's it. We're done. We're finally done. Now I have to do the rest of it. God damn it. Why is there always more to do?